Hello, friends! Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to a very special episode where I will be pairing with Alka to build a Twitch bot. Please say hello, Alka.
Hello, Alka.
Awesome. So Alka is the maintainer of the TMI.js JavaScript library. It's an extremely popular library for building Twitch bots and interacting with Twitch chat. He is also the owner of AlkaBot, which is on over 50 channels. So it's a distributed bot. Is that accurate to say? And that it's one bot.
Well, it's centralized.
But it's one bot that basically handles messages for multiple channels.
Yes.
Cool.
Quite a few.
And so today, I think we're going to try to build something like that. Right now, I can show you the plan that we have so far, which is nothing. So we're going to attempt to come up with a plan, and we kind of have to start from scratch. And I guess I'll mention, like, the reason this is happening is Alka had mentioned that he wanted to learn Vue. He's already done some Vue, but I've done a lot of Vue on my channel. So we thought that we could collaborate and I could help him do some Vue stuff. And we could basically build the administration dashboard for this Twitch bot using Vue.js. However, I don't know how soon we're going to get to Vue because we have to design the bot and build the backend and get all of that stuff working before we can actually build a front end for it. So let's say hello to everyone. And actually, am I missing anything, Alka? Anything you want to say?
That sounds pretty good to me.
Cool. Hello, Alka. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Abunga.
Thank you.
Hello, Svetlana. Hello, yes, sir. Hello, Giovanni, who says hello, Alka.
Hello.
Hello, LK. Hello, Robin. Hello, Amy. Welcome to the stream. So excited for the stream. That's awesome. Hello, Mattia. Hello, Slavko. Brian says, Alka in the stream. It's lit. Robin says, finally, I get to see you live stream, Alka. Yeah, and I guess while we're mentioning it, if you go to twitch.tv/Alka, this is where Alka streams when he does stream. If you're on Twitter, you can go to twitter.com/AlkaMagic. Is that right?
Yes.
That's his Twitter. And the library we're going to be using is TMI.js, which is on GitHub at TMI.js/TMI.js. Hello, Julian. Welcome. It's been a while. Har Mardu. I think that means how are you? I don't know what language it's in, but I'm pretty good. Hello, Jan. Hello, FSets. You're welcome for tweeting the stream. I actually remembered today. I was somewhat organized. I don't know. Hello, Ravakumar. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Hork. Hello, Manus Paul. Hello, Trent. Hello, Meyer. Hello, Batar. Good morning, ATD. Hello, Brandon. ATD says, OMG hype. And ATD also says, hello, Alka.
Hello.
Thanks for the follow, Danny Camps Games. I appreciate that.
That's special.
Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Cool. ATD says, I've waited so long for this. Yeah, Alka's here, live, right there. Trent says, I've been waiting for this for ages. Hello, Amadou, welcome. Cananello says, Alka is some kind of wizard. I love him. Thanks for the follow, Dat Sparrow. Hello, Charles, welcome. Matt, was asking, are you using the new Vue syntax? We could, actually. So have you done React before?
No.
No? Okay. Because, I mean, I asked that...
There's almost no frameworks.
Almost no frameworks. Okay, because I asked that because the Vue composition API is somewhat similar to React hooks. So if you were used to that, then maybe we would use that. But, I mean, maybe we do that anyways. I like the new Vue composition API. Hello, Robin. Welcome to the stream. Svetlana is saying, your chat manager is looking different from last night. Yeah, I tried to do some things. So now we have this greetings tab. It tries to automatically detect all the people that said hello. Hello, Katoli. Hello, Saktavel. Hello, Alvin. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Tabmix. Hello, FSets. Hello, Flukifed. Welcome. And hello, Debusis. I am not detecting hello. It's a very basic regex right now that's just like, hi, hey, good morning. That kind of thing. Yeah. Alka set the title. Could totally change the title. Maybe it wasn't showing updated for him. Hello, Merchon. Hello, Ron. Oh, it's Julian saying Swedish. I see. Very cool. Hello, Jimmy. title was wrong on Twitch? I thought you updated it, Alka.
I did update it.
Okay, maybe it didn't refresh. Everyone's so excited to see Alka. Yeah, this is fun. Because
I still see fun with film.
if you have watched Coding Garden before, you've probably seen Alka in the chat. So Alka is a mod on this channel and many other channels. I mean, if you're in Twitch chat on any other channel, you might have seen Alka before.
Highly likely.
Zubair is asking, are there any past videos to follow, or is this video going to be to chat from the beginning? This is from the beginning. This is what we have so far. Nothing. And so we're about to get into it. We're letting people join. Hello, Patrick. Welcome to the stream. Flukifed is from South Africa. Very cool. Cool to see Alka in person, says Patrick. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Is this the first time for Alka? This is the first time Alka is on my stream, but I mentioned Alka does stream on his channel, twitch.tv/Alka. It's your kitty. Hello, Debasis. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so the thing is, if you look at my YouTube channel right now, there are so many recent streams. So it's like, honestly, it's kind of a detriment for me to be streaming so often, because the more I stream, the less views I get, because it's more and more content. But that's okay. I have fun streaming. Because you can see, like, the most recent videos actually don't have as much views as they normally get, mainly because they're like 3, 4, 5 hour streams back to back. But I don't know. Hello, Cheddar. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is totally from the beginning. Cool. Katoli said they still saw the old title. Okay, I think we should get in.
Refresh and I see it. You should probably go to the dashboard and update it. I think there's something wrong with the bot.
Oh, okay.
Or with the API.
Oh, wait. So it's still the old title?
Yeah. You can check on the API.
Oh, weird. Yeah, okay. I'll update it. I don't know. Streamlabs bot, I have some serious issue with. Oh, man, I got a donation. A super chat. Let me update this title, and I will acknowledge it. There, so the Twitch title should be updated now. Cool. Let's take a quick stretch. How often do you stretch, Alka?
Not very often.
You should stretch more often.
Okay.
Have you ever had any issues with like RSI from like?
Of course.
Oh, okay. So yes, you should install a break timer if you don't have one. But where did that super chat go? Thank you, Jillian, for the $2 super chat. If you give me a second, I can pull up your message. It doesn't show up in my UI over here.
Okay, I still see the old time.
The old title?
It's very slow today, I guess.
Oh, wow. Okay. Danny Camps is hosting the stream. Thanks for the host, Danny Camps. The super chat message was, good morning. Good morning, Jillian. Thanks for the donation. A question from Motivation. Can Alka answer how he can manage to understand all the one-liners with one-letter variables that he does? Does he start multi-line and shrink it afterwards like you do? What's your process, Alka?
Sort of both. Sometimes I'll write it right out. Sometimes I'll write it multi-line and shrink it down. I understand the variables because I know the context, and I sort of have, not necessarily mnemonic, but like I have an understanding between the letter and the value.
Right.
I just remember it very well.
Yeah.
I feel it.
I think it comes from practice too.
A lot of practice.
Yeah, and using single letter variables a lot. But I think you had mentioned before you sometimes start like I do, where it's a bit more verbose, and then you kind of like start to bring it down to get it into a one-liner. Yeah. Is that accurate? Yeah.
I do that sometimes.
FSets said the last hello wasn't for me, it was for you, Alka. So FSets says
Hello.
And thanks Polar Fluke for the follow, and thanks Wavy Vanilla for the follow. I appreciate it. Cool. So there's a question from Dat Sparrow. We have a new feature in this chat manager. I can mark this question, and then we can come back to the question later because it's a little bit off topic. It's pretty good, huh? And so later on, when we have a lull, we can come back to the questions tab and try to answer those questions. Hello, Coding Room. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Alka is only a mod of about 116 channels, so, you know.
Let me check that real quick.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Not really.
Okay.
So no.
Someone was asking. Alka is in the chat even if he's on stream. Yeah, I bet. Like, just go watch any of the top science and technology streams right now, and Alka's chatting in there.
Very likely.
Cool. Zubair is asking, are you from Russia?
Nope.
Do you have any Russian ancestry?
Nope. Not that I know of.
Cool. Yeah, so we
friends.
What's that?
I have some friends from Russia.
So we are using VS Code Live Share, and I think we should start writing some code, or like at least writing a to-do list. So, okay. Yes, we are using VS Code Live Share, so we can both see this, and you should be able to see if Alka is typing. There we go.
Yes.
Sweet. So what do we need to do? So I guess the goal of this whole thing is to build, I think we agreed, like a chatbot that works with multiple channels. Is that an accurate goal of what we're trying to build? Okay, cool.
Definitely do that.
Okay, so that's
way more interesting.
Okay, so that's the goal of this whole thing. And so in terms of what we need to do, we should maybe design the data model first, and I guess also choose a database.
Mongo is going to be my preference. I don't know anything else.
Okay, let's use Mongo, yeah, because the anything else I think is just going to slow us down because we have to like create migrations and change fields if things change. So okay, we're gonna do the database with Mongo, but we can still, I guess, try to design it. So instead of putting everything in a single collection, we could have like a collection for channels, a collection for messages that have like a channel ID. So I think step one is model the data, and we'll do that. Then what? I know. So you built AlkaBot.
Yes.
Did you follow something like this? I guess after you've figured out how we're going to store all the data, do we just try to get something up and going? Or are we going to build some backend endpoints for admitting the bot, or like adding it to different channels?
We could definitely start with the like base chatbot just to get something that can read chat and respond.
Okay.
I think that would be pretty easy.
And so should we do something where we add the bot to a channel so that the bot knows to start listening for messages? Okay, so
that'd be ideal.
To a channel. We'll figure out how to do that. And then once it's added to a channel, bot can read and respond to messages in specified channels. Cool. And I assume that we're using like Node and Express on the back end?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That would be ideal as well.
Cool. So yeah, we'll model the data, add a bot to a channel, respond to some messages. Easy, right? Okay. We'll be done in an hour. Not really. We never are. Cool. Are you cool if we use what do you call it? I was thinking we could use like a visual data, like an entity relationship diagram thing, but actually I don't think you can.
I'll go with what you want.
Okay. I don't think you can.
Doesn't make sense to you.
You can see my screen. You know what? Let's just do it with text. We're gonna do some ASCII art. So let's create a file called erd.md. So I guess one of the main entities is probably channels, right?
Yes. Channels, users.
Yeah, let's just list out all the things that we'll need, and then we can talk about the relationships. So channels, users,
commands,
messages, commands.
I don't know if you want to do moderation or not. That'd probably be more complex. So basically settings of any kind.
Yeah, let's do
behavior.
Let's do settings, because so you would be able to add new commands. You may be able to set like a timeout on commands, like commands can only ever run every 10
Cooldown.
seconds or
Yeah.
something like that. Okay,
It could be per command as well.
Okay.
Even.
What else? I mean, that's kind of it, I guess.
That's yeah.
Yeah, and we can just talk about the
It's not too
relationships.
complex.
There was a super chat that came in. Let me acknowledge that from Meeper, who donated $3.50. Thanks for the super chat. Cool. So I guess we probably start at the top level, like a user. So here's the thing: like users and channels are kind of the same thing, right?
Right.
I mean, when you're modeling this stuff, do you technically like separate them out? So like a channel is something that live streams. Users are people that can manage the bot for a channel. I guess what are users in this context?
Okay. I was thinking users was a chat user, but as a user of the service, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, and I guess do we differentiate that, or is the user of the service just technically a channel? Because I guess if we think about the flow, like somebody's signing up to use this bot, so they would most likely need to do some sort of OAuth flow. Like they click a button that says like add.
Sign up with Twitch.
Yeah, sign up with Twitch to like add this Twitch bot to your channel, and then we would need to store their channel channel ID, so we know to start listening for messages for that given channel. Okay, so there is potentially a like one-to-one relationship between channels and users. Like one user can have one channel.
And you could have like a manager of a channel as well.
Is that considered? Yeah, and I guess that's separate from like a Twitch mod, because there could be a setting where you can like share.
Invite.
Yeah.
In like Nightbot, you can invite someone else, or you can just say, or you ask someone for a code. They give you the code. You put in the code, and then they are now a moderator.
Okay.
Of the bot, and they come in and manage it.
You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to.
But we can not do that.
I'm gonna share my screen, and then we're gonna attempt to use Lucid Chart if that's cool. This might like really mess things up, so bear with us because I'm about to press this button. Yep, that totally messed up the image on stream. There we go. Okay, so we can see Alka again. That's good. We'll minimize that, and you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see the screen. Also, I'm frozen in your stream.
And there's a thing on top of your face. Okay, let me fix that. Oh, what just happened?
I don't know. It's going crazy over there. I like it though.
There we go. How is that? I think you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's use Lucid Chart. Have you ever used Lucid Chart?
Nope.
It's a pretty cool tool for like diagramming and things like that. Can I log in with Google?
Yep.
Let's do that one. Cool. Let's catch up on the chat. Yes, we are using VS Code Live Share. Mattia saying it's fine. YouTube prioritizes watch time in terms of like number of views versus watch time. But yeah. Alka be streaming late night. I fall asleep to his beautiful voice, says Brian. Everyday Code says, I just discovered your channel. I was blown away by what you did on the MVC Node.js meetup. I live in the same city as you. Maybe we can see at meetups. Cool, Everyday Code. Yeah, hope to see you somewhere. Thanks again for the host, Danny Camps. Thanks for the host, Alka.
You're welcome.
One character variables are the best, says Danny Camps. Question from ATD. When did you first start programming, Alka?
About 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Wow.
9, 10. Okay.
Have you always done JavaScript? Or I guess what was your first programming language?
First programming language was Linden scripting language for Second Life.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting.
Cool.
And then moved on to I don't know, PHP, and then JavaScript.
Yeah.
And some other things in between.
Okay. Eddie is saying this is so cool to see both CJ and Alka. CJ with the innovations. Yeah, so I've got all the new. Oh, are they broken now? I might have broken them. Okay.
It looks good.
I think they're okay. Thank you. It might be. Maybe I have to click twice. Oh, thanks for the suggestion, TabMix. So yeah, yesterday we had an issue where we were trying to use ESLint in a nested folder, but there's a suggestion from TabMix on how to fix that, which is cool. Doc is saying, how many channels is multiple channels? Are we talking about for the bot itself? In terms of this, like technically for the thing we're building, it's like unlimited, right?
Right.
If we design it in a certain way, it can pretty much listen to messages on any channel. That said, we are going to be limited by what the Twitch API allows us to listen for. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that? So like, what are some of the limits that AlkaBot sees, or some of the traffic that AlkaBot sees?
Well, the traffic isn't too crazy. I do only use one connection. I have one connection for Whispers, but that's because it's a different account. But so I have everything on just one connection. All chat comes through, and it works great. If you're going to go over like 150, you probably want to do two, and you probably want to do load balancing if you're in like a large channel. But if you're in channels that have less than 100 viewers, you're probably fine putting those all in one connection.
Okay.
There are some restrictions and limitations that Twitch has. They might disconnect you if you have too much data throughput.
Right.
So you have to decide if you want to stay in that channel, move it to a different connection or whatever, make a new connection.
And did you? Is there a way of requesting like more connections or more bandwidth or more rate limiting?
There's not.
Oh, okay.
Rate limiting, yes.
Okay.
On like how quickly you can send messages.
Right. Hello, Boyan. Welcome to the stream. I'm on that streaming grind. Yeah. Streaming so much. My throat was pretty bad this morning when I woke up. I've been trying to drink some tea. I've been talking way too much. Yeah. Alvin wants to know, what languages do you know?
English.
What coding languages do you know?
JavaScript, PHP, a little bit. Pretty much forgotten most of it. JavaScript is really pretty much my answer.
Cool.
For what do I know?
Yeah.
Other things I like can get through, but
dabble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not fun though if you don't know it.
Motivation says, I was watching Alka's Matrix Rain the other day, and it seemed so simple for him. He said in his video that the project was so simple that he coded it on a website platform. That was cool.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff on CodePen.
Yeah.
Pretty much there daily, making stuff.
Cool. Will the bot use AI like Watson IBM? For this, I don't think so. Like this is
not necessary.
Yeah, this is kind of just responding to basic commands and basic messages. The thing is, once we have it set up, eventually you could create a custom command that hooks into some AI API. Yeah.
I've used there's Wolfram Alpha has an API that is a conversation, so it can sort of remember the past things like an Alexa or something.
Okay.
You can even use that.
Interesting. Danny Kim says, done in an hour? I bet Alka does the 0.2 and 3 in 10 minutes. I guess it's, well, the tricky part is really just going to be building this whole thing and how it all relates together. It's pretty simple to add a bot or like add a message listener to a channel, like with TMI.js, right?
Very easy, yeah. It's like 3 lines.
But once you want to start storing messages and responding to different channels, and each channel is going to have different settings, that's where it definitely gets more complex. Yeah. Thanks again for the $3.50 super chat, Tree Fitty. Yeah, a lot of people are watching the stream from yesterday. Nobody has had time to finish it yet.
Yeah. I didn't have time. I was there.
Yeah. Motivation says, does Alka always code with the same kind of music? For example, in his Major Crane video, he listened to the Lawnmower song.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Cool.
I still listen to that.
Thanks for the follow, Light Song JS. I appreciate it.
I think that's a video from like 2 years ago or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cheddar says, I'd like to hear how Alka got all his coding knowledge. It seems like he knows a ton. Was he just a child prodigy?
No, not necessarily. Just out of practice, being interested, finding things to do,
Yeah.
A lot like what you do.
Yeah.
You have to make something for a stream or whatever.
Definitely. What keyboard are you using? Is Ask Bits Flip?
It's a Chroma V2, so a Razer Black Widow Chroma V2.
Razer.
Close enough.
Ooh. That one?
And I was using, yeah,
Cool.
I was using a similar one prior to this one.
Awesome.
And that one I had for like 8 years.
Yeah, the keyboard in the chat is the keyboard that I use. That's not the one that Alka uses. How much math does Alka know? For example, for his bot, does he know? Does he use Markov chains?
I do not know.
Okay.
Not necessary again.
Okay. Yeah, Jimmy is asking about Figma. I have used Figma before. Have you ever used Figma for projects like design? No? Okay. Hello, Zachary. Welcome to the stream. Oh, interesting.
There's the API.
Yeah, Kotoli shared the Wolfram Alpha thing. Are we using Docker? Should we use Docker?
I don't know anything about Docker.
Okay.
I know someone who knows a lot about Docker, but I.
Okay, so maybe we should use Docker. Doc is asking, what would a distributed sharded chatbot capable of handling a very large channel look like in Node? Would you need to shard a chatbot? I guess for if you have like if you're dealing with channels with like thousands of simultaneous viewers, you probably want like a single instance per instead of trying to handle multiple, right?
Yeah, and you may on different servers completely, depending on how much data you're putting through. So I haven't made anything that's that big, like Nightbot or MooBot or anything like that. And those are distributed on multiple servers.
Okay. Cool, but maybe the thing we build, we can turn it into that. I don't know. Yeah, someone said AI is just a bunch of if-else statements. Pretty much. Yeah, and yesterday I said this should just be a 2-hour stream. It turned into a 5-hour and 30-minute stream. So we're probably going to be streaming for like 12 hours. So buckle in, everyone. Click me to show alert. No, thank you. The history of collaboration between me and you, Alka. So we haven't really. I mean, you've been a mod in my channel. Yeah. And we kind of like message back and forth. I mean, sometimes when I'm doing code katas, you'll kind of solve them along with me, and it's fun to it's fun to see your like one-liner solutions, and we show those on stream. But this is the first time we're gonna be pairing together, and we've written 0 code so far. So let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't fixed that yet, Katoli. YouTube chats, and I looked into the API this morning. I couldn't find anything, but if someone retracts a message on YouTube, I still see it. I have no way of knowing that it got retracted. And 3 people asked questions. I have your questions. They're just a little bit off topic, so we might get to them later. Okay, let's design a database. We're on Lucidchart. I guess I'm in IT. I don't know. Engineering? Software engineering? Just let me in. Okay, so we're gonna create a new document. Just do a blank diagram. Skip the tutorial. Next.
Almost there.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a UI anti-pattern. Like I should be able to dismiss.
Skip.
Yeah, skip. Like you should always be able to skip something like that. Or not UML, ERD. Here we go. So we have ourselves an entity. There's my break timer. Let's take a quick stretch. And let's see. And I did mention to Alka before we started, like, I'm going to try to actually take breaks when they come up. So we've only been streaming for 30 minutes. So probably another 30 minutes or so of streaming. And then we'll take like a quick break just to make sure that we stay fresh and we can actually like get this thing done. Enhance. Cool. So can you see my screen?
I can.
All right. I guess let's start with like the user's entity. They're going to have, I guess, potentially an ID in our system. Probably just a string, or like, I guess we can call it text. No, we'll call it string. It's Mongo. They'll have a Twitch ID, also a string. Or is that technically a number?
It's a string.
String. Okay.
Yeah. It was a number, and now it's a string.
Okay. They'll have a name. We need a row below. They'll have picture, I guess. I mean, do we need their picture? Do we need their name?
I mean, we can get with just the Twitch ID, we can get their profile image and their display name and regular login name.
So yeah, I guess the question is, do we want to store that in our database?
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, and
we could just do that on page load.
Okay, and that makes a lot of sense because their name could change or their picture could change, and then we have to make sure that our database stays up to date, and that's not so good. Okay, so we have our users.
That seems efficient.
And then I guess we'll need an entity for channels, and I guess channels will be what we call. I mean, because on Twitch, a channel is technically still a user, but a channel will be the thing that we're listening for messages, right?
Okay.
So a channel, I guess we'll have an ID in our system. Actually, let's just do the 2-column. Channel has an ID, which is going to be a string. It also has a Twitch ID. And then I guess we need to think about the relationship between users and channels. So, I guess technically the users where the Twitch ID matches the channel ID, that's like the owner of the channel, right?
Right.
Because it's the same thing. But if we want to start getting into like shared users or like mods, I guess. So this could have like a Twitch ID and then a channel ID and then potentially like a role.
Yes, that'd be good.
So what do we call this?
Managers.
I like that. Managers. Cool. And so the channel ID, this is where the entity relationship diagram comes into play. So the channel ID, we're basically saying one channel can have many members. So there could potentially be many members that are a manager for a given channel. And then similarly,
including the owner as a role.
Yeah. And we're also saying that users that pretty much matches up to Twitch ID. So users can be managers of many different channels, right? Because you could technically be a mod for more than one channel.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Because we're just using Mongo, technically we can just store the role as a string, like mod or manager. I mean, if we wanted to be like
numbers.
Yeah, scalable, we could do basically like a lookup table. Yeah, so like we could have another table that's just called roles, and it has like ID and then the name of the role. And then over here, this could actually just be an ID reference to the lookup table. Should we get that complex? What do you think?
That seems okay. We can do that.
Can we? Okay, let's. It is. I mean, it's gonna be a bit more code, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So we have a table called like roles. And a role has an ID, which is going to be like a Mongo string, and a role has a name, which is also going to be a string. And then right here, we'll call this role ID instead, and that will map to a given role. So, I mean, in the future, that would potentially allow us to add different roles, like you have your maybe a view-only manager. I don't know why you would want that. I mean, can you think of different levels of access for a bot manager?
Well, there would be like a public list of commands, and someone could be signed in. If you had a point system, you'd want to be able to see your own points. So that could be like a viewer role, which wouldn't really be able to control too much.
Okay.
Or something like that.
I see. Okay. So yeah, I think it makes sense potentially to have this lookup table because there are more than one roles, and in the future we could add more. Okay. So we have users, managers, channel, and then
settings.
Yeah, so we'll have settings associated with a channel, right? Or I mean, we do need commands, right?
Yeah.
So command has an ID, which is a string. it has like a command property. What do you normally call this?
I would call it a name.
Oh,
That
then
would be aliases possibly. So.
okay, name of the command. I like that. And then aliases could be like
String array.
yeah, an array of strings, and that doesn't need to be in a separate collection. That can just be in that document.
Per command.
Yep. Okay, and so a channel can have many commands. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Would we want to?
It also need like reply and last used and maybe a count of how many times it was used.
So do we want to store a new a new command entry for every command, or like is it possible that we'll have commands that are kind of used across all channels?
A global command, yeah.
Yeah. So
like uptime or something.
Yeah, and is that separate from like more customizable commands?
Yeah.
Okay, and should I think potentially
there could be like an override as well.
Okay,
because you may want to disable a command
right
per channel. It would be a global.
Well, I guess what I'm thinking is, so it's basically two levels of commands. So you have like let's call it global commands, and these are commands that are created and shared across all channels. So things like uptime, set title, those kinds of things, and whenever you add the bot to your channel, you're going to instantly get all of these global commands. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then once you've added the bot to your channel, you now have an admin dashboard, and you can go in and add custom commands, and those custom commands would be inserted into this table. Does that make sense? Are we making this too complex? What do you think?
No, that's not too complex at all.
Okay. And so global commands are associated with pretty much any channel, so it's kind of just like a standalone table. But this table, potentially we want to add like the channel ID, so that when someone adds a new command to a channel, it is now associated with a given channel.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll do this. No. Oh no. There we go. Cool. And then we just have our global commands that as the name in the alias, and I guess the commands have some sort of action, right? They do something.
Yes.
So how do we store that?
So we can store like a plain text of the reply text.
Okay.
And we can have variables that are recognized like handlebars or @ symbols or whatever.
Okay.
Or more complex things as well.
So I like the idea of like reply text, and that's a like a text string that could have like you mentioned handlebars or some way of representing a variable.
Yeah.
Cool. So that makes me think we're gonna need potentially another store for like all the current values of all the variables. Or how would we do that?
Well, it would be more. Every command has access to all of the variables.
Right.
So
okay.
I could do whatever I want.
I see. And so
you put test, by the way.
Oh. Thank you. That makes a whole lot of sense. So basically, I mean, would it make sense to have another store here for like variables?
Or I don't know if we need a store for that. It's more like in memory type of thing.
Okay.
We might want to be able to list them.
Like, what are all the possible variables? Right.
Tons of things.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, like that's what we would store in here is like what are possible.
I thought you were like asking me.
No. No, there's a lot. But yeah, I guess a variable has a name, and then because what I'm thinking,
some way of getting a value.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, yes, but we'll have to figure out, given all of these possible variables, how do we get the current value for a given channel? And we would have a way of doing that internally, I guess, and then we'd figure out if we would need to actually store any variables internally. I guess when bots do things like loyalty points or some sort of like award system, that's when you start storing more like internal state, I guess, right? Because you're storing like how many points does a user have and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I guess honestly though, I mean, do we need this variable store
I think it'd only be good for the front end.
to like list out possible variables?
Yeah,
Okay.
but that could be internal
Okay.
in memory.
So yeah, we'll just have that, and again, it's its own like standalone thing. It doesn't really have any relations, but allows us to list them out. We'll have some way of interpreting the variables in the reply text for the commands. Um, cool. Have you ever seen a Twitch bot that allows you to do basically like custom scripting? So you can
I
add.
have
Okay.
a little bit.
And is it a common thing?
It's not too common. I don't think too many people make use of it because it's very ugly and complex
Okay.
to like deal with and just chat lines.
Right.
You don't have like a nice interface on all those bots.
Okay. It seems like that'd be an interesting feature though, because
It will be,
if we have like our
especially
own.
for bot around programming.
Right. So like we have our own scripting language. I mean, it could potentially just be like a subset of JavaScript where you have access to these variables and like we inject a scope so that it allows
Yeah,
the script to run. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Nightbot actually allows you to evaluate JavaScript code.
Really?
Yeah,
That's pretty sweet.
it's all in a VM and you can't like require anything,
Okay.
but I think it runs it now.
So we have channels, users. We don't have messages yet, and we don't really have settings. So should this bot like store a history of messages for a given channel?
I don't know if there's really too much of a reason for that other than displaying statistics or being able to view past messages. There's not really too much on the past unless we were like playing a game or something
Yeah.
built into the bot.
Okay. So that makes sense. So don't really have to store messages. In terms of
I think that's lower priority.
okay. Um, I actually do like that feature in general though, to be able to go back and like see past messages. I know you can do it I guess on VODs, but eventually those go away. But it'd be cool to have
Yeah.
like like a history of messages. Cool. And then settings. How do settings play into all of this? Are those technically variables?
Uh, Not really. I mean, they could be, but I'm thinking more like whether or not the bot is enabled, first of all.
Okay.
So you might want to disable it, like get rid of this without like destroying my account or something.
Right.
Yeah, I might still want the data if I enable it later, or global cooldowns on commands.
So
That type of thing.
should we have like a separate thing called channel settings?
Yeah,
And this will have, I guess, its own ID, but then this could have a channel ID. And that relates to the channel itself. And then I guess we can come up with the different values, or I mean, or should it be like a kind of freeform key value store? So like it has like settings, and this is actually a map that's like string to string or something like that.
okay. I think that's okay.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
instead of having essentially,
hard.
yeah, coming up with like every possible one and then putting that as a possible column on here.
Yeah,
It's just like a nested object that can kind of change. Okay. How does this look? You do hierarchy? Ooh. Are
or
we?
at least connections. But that's fine.
Wait. What's that?
Well, we lose the like ID to ID connections, but
Oh, that's
that's
true. Yeah, it doesn't matter as much, I guess. um, are we missing anything? Does this make sense?
I think that's a good
Good place to
foundation.
good place to start. Okay, there's my quick break timer. Let's take a stretch, and then we'll catch up on any chats that have happened. I apologize if anyone is like saying things and we're not getting to it. It's like we have to focus at some point. So, Campbell asks, you mentioned you were on CodePen daily. Do you use any other programming websites like that daily?
Not currently.
Cool.
I go to Code Wars when you're on Code Wars.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. No worries, Jason. Yeah, I've seen multiple pull requests for this chat manager. Yeah, somebody actually added the new Twitch background. I added the time ago this morning. But yeah. Yeah, that actually would have worked. Someone tried to cross-site script me, but
Yeah,
cool. Amado says, Alka, do you work?
not currently.
Okay. Are you looking for a job?
Sort of.
Okay. If you're watching and you need an Alka, he's right here. All the contact info is in the description. Thanks Real Saddy for the follow, and thanks iHotbox for the follow. Yeah, everyone was like watching some of my other videos. Ashwin says, any tips on how to actually maintain an open source code base? Do you have any tips, Alka? Because you maintain TMI.js.
Plan,
Plan?
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have do you use the issue tracker on GitHub?
I do. Um,
And does
I
that
mostly get like questions of how to use the library, less than here's a big issue or whatever. That happens less often.
okay?
I am mostly on Discord answering questions very much daily.
Okay, and is there a dedicated like TMI.js Discord?
There is a dedicated Twitch API, unofficial, and then Twitch has their own Discord as well.
Okay,
And I'm answering both places.
cool,
General JavaScript as well. I answer a lot,
nice.
not just TMI.js or anything.
Yeah. Yesser's saying, would it be good to make a route and write a test for it? Is that best practice? It's best practice to write tests. Should we write? Are we gonna write tests today?
Uh,
Do you write tests?
I do not.
Okay.
I dislike it.
Okay, let's
The
not.
whole process.
And I think tests aren't bad, especially. I mean,
That would bog me down, I feel.
yeah, and I mean, I think that's how a lot of people feel about it. But at the same time, if we're building this thing and it's distributed and a lot of channels are using it, we would want to have some level of guarantee that we're not going to break the code in some way. But honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to write tests because we need to get this thing done.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. Do you go to school, or do you work?
No.
Okay, that's what Motivation asked. Point system. Will you be tracking user watch time? I think that's potentially like a stretch feature, right?
Stretch feature for
yeah.
sure. It's also a little complex and not as solid as you'd wish.
Yeah.
Kind of wishy-washy.
Yeah. Katoli's saying, if you're doing TDD, you write first the test, and then you write the actual route and function, so it's up to you. Yeah, but I feel the same way. I mean, especially on stream, like, I just want to get the code out there. The thing is, like, there are a lot of people that think, or the way they code is they literally cannot write code without tests. Like, they have to write tests first. They don't understand how you cannot write tests first. But I'm not like that.
Interesting point of view.
Yeah. Alka should enhance his Alcabot so that it can manage everything around his house, like Jarvis and Iron Man. Have you done that?
I have, yes.
That's awesome. Do you use like Alexa or Google Home or something like that? Or
Yeah.
and
I've used commands on my phone, and I used to have an Alexa. I just played around a little bit, but
and that can
that's not
trigger
nearly as easy.
that can trigger bot commands, I guess, based on voice
You
commands.
could, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Also get like push notifications for certain events as well.
okay. Boyan is saying maybe an active property to the commands table. I think this is something good to think about, like which parts of this data model could potentially be deactivated or deleted.
Yeah. Also, commands would need like a role for certain things, majorly on the global commands for like set title.
So like we could have like a property that's like required role.
Yeah, but it's not like the role. It's more like a chat moderator. So Twitch moderator.
So it's like the person that's attempting to execute that command should have a given permission.
Yeah.
And
that permission can again be moderator in the chat, and that could be enabled, disabled from the broadcaster in the Twitch chat natively, rather than coming to us to decide who gets what.
Right.
We could have like Nightbot has a like a known user, a regular is what it's called. So that fits into it. So a regular could have a command that only subscribers have, and that would give them like a higher tier permission.
So I think what we've done, what I have here. So for global commands, we set required permission. Like there are certain things that only, or let's say required role.
Okay.
Because there are certain things that only the owner of the channel should be able to do, or certain things that only mods should be able to do. So and that can be set at a global level. But then for commands that we're adding to an individual channel, that also could have a required role, but they would need to set that themselves. Is this a good way of thinking about it? Because basically, every user in our system will have a role, and actually they can potentially have multiple roles. Um, because we have the user's ID, the channel ID, and then the role ID. But if we had multiple entries in this document store, it's basically a user with two different roles. So like they are admin and they are mod. But what that allows you to do is any given command could then be restricted to only a certain role. But you want some users to be able to do that, so you give them a certain role. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Am I going off the deep end?
Maybe a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
I think I'll solve it.
Okay. But is this okay to like add required role? Is that what you're thinking? Should it be
Yeah.
something slightly different?
No, that's it.
Okay. Cool. And I guess an active property would make sense too.
I prefer enabled myself.
Enabled. I like it. Enabled. Boolean. So that's on the command, and I guess on the global commands too. But
yeah, well, you could. Someone might use other bots at the same time. Like I have Nightbot and MooBot and AlcaBot all at the same time.
All right, so you want to disable a common command,
and they all have uptime commands.
Right. And that makes me actually think that we need command settings for global commands for a given channel, because you have these global commands, but then for a given channel, they may want to disable the global uptime command. So that's like a channel specific setting, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we just call this like enabled commands. And this has like an ID. This has a command ID, and this has enabled. And then it also means, I guess, a channel ID. So what this would allow us to do is for a given channel, disable the given command. So essentially, any actually, I guess we could call this disabled commands. Like it's enabled by default, and then
I prefer something like a command override.
Command override. How would that work?
Because every like the global command, which we will have loaded in memory, we know what we want, and then each user could have a different output for the reply text. Like they might want it in Spanish or something.
Okay.
So they'll write their own version in Spanish and then put in the variable for the uptime.
Okay.
Or be able to enable and disable it freely like that.
I see. So instead of this, what should we do?
Like it could be. This might be fine.
I don't know. we're gonna figure it out, but
it's complex.
But I see. I get what you're saying though, because basically, like the channel level override of a given global command, essentially it just has the same name. I think that's maybe what the check we can do. It's like when we're executing a command, does the channel have a command with that name listed here? And if it does, that actually overrides the global command, because we would check here first.
Yeah, and would that ignore the global command, or would it mask over the global command?
I think it would mask over it. So essentially, like that command would run instead of the global one, and the default reply text and required role.
Or we could just take the global commands and copy them in as a regular command, and so it's just a global command that we can update. But any existing user who hasn't changed, I don't know.
I mean, I'm kind of okay with that, because basically this is kind of just stores like what are all possible global commands to start with, and then whenever a new user signs up to like add this bot, we basically copy all of these into their commands, and now they can modify them.
Yeah.
And it's basically no longer a reference, but this kind of keeps track of what's available to everyone.
So how would we add a new command, a new global command?
That's where it gets
Or how
tricky.
would we remove a global command?
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky because
Features we don't want anymore.
if we did copy them into this collection, then anytime we added a new one, we'd need to copy it to every single channel.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm thinking of like the override feature. Like, if a command is sent and it's been overridden here, we do this instead of this. But
Okay.
if a command is sent and it doesn't exist here, we just do the global one, which is where the disabled and enabled comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think we're thinking about it too much. We need to probably start coding soon.
Okay.
But it's good. This is a good conversation though. Does Alka have roommates? We hear noise in the background. I guess you hear like vehicles if you're near like a window or something.
I am.
Yeah. Motivation is saying, is there a way to get a list of my YouTube watch later videos via the YouTube API? Yes, I'm gonna put
Probably.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in questions for later. Thanks Olarsino for the follow, and thanks Shankar2485 for the follow. Paramit is asking. It says hello, but they're asking what is TMI.js. I guess for all the new people that have joined the chat, can we tell them what TMI.js is?
So TMI.js is a way for you to use Node.js or JavaScript on the front end to connect to the Twitch chat IRC and be able to send and receive messages and plenty of other events that are sent to the IRC.
Definitely. And so basically, we're going to be using that to build this chatbot that can work on multiple channels. Cool. Hello,
And I have
Terminal.
a lot to say
Go ahead.
about events. So if
Oh,
someone were to cheer, the bot could say, "Yo, someone just cheered."
okay.
You know,
And we would want to be able to like disable
or
or
subtract.
enable certain events, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they could exist as command with like a tie to an event, and there could be multiple levels to that event. Like if someone cheers over $100 worth of bits, it'd be a different event. I don't know if we want to handle that.
Yeah.
We can keep it basic right now. That's something we could definitely upgrade at
Right.
some point.
And actually, maybe we ignore events for now, just because I kind of just want to get commands and messaging working.
Yeah.
Because that, like you said, it's kind of is a whole other thing because you're listening for specific types of events to happen, and then you should probably check like is that event notification enabled on a given channel. Like for this, I have the follow events enabled for Streamlabs, but you can disable those. Yeah. Thanks for the follow, Chimera BL, and thanks for the follow, Joy Void Joy. Welcome. And hello, Infi. Welcome to the stream. Are we going to build a web admin dashboard? So if you're going to build a web admin dashboard, you could add a code editor to add those scripts. Yeah, that'd be fun. Because I think the ultimate goal of all of this is to create a admin dashboard with Vue, and we could have like a code editor in there if we need to. Cool. The time ago is just now always. Yeah, it's not updating, is it? Well, I'll have to work on that. Real Sadie says, y'all should be partnered up by Twitch. Great content. I appreciate that. Are you partnered? Okay.
I'm not. I'm an affiliate.
Okay. Yeah, I have the option to enable affiliate, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. Mainly because I want to stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
There's contractual obligations and restrictions.
Right. Trent says, I didn't know about the auto layout feature. That would have saved me hours a few days ago. Oh yeah, with Lucid Chart. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Arrange auto layout. Yeah. Cool. Kimball is asking, have you found a way of taking donations for maintaining software libraries like the GitHub sponsors program? So do you have like is there an open collective or anything like that for TMI.js?
Not currently.
Okay.
I've looked into it.
Okay.
But I've not.
And is it mainly just like you kind of do it in your spare time in terms of like managing issues and
yeah. Although I see everything immediately. I have like GitHub webhook set up to send to a private Discord channel in my Discord.
Okay.
And I see that and I check it. And I get emails and all that.
Okay.
I'm on top of it, but there's only so much time.
Definitely. Katoli doesn't write tests. There's one for no test writing. Real Sadie says, I've never used tests. What do you recommend to do so? I have codefactor.io for my projects. Have you used Codefactor?
No.
What is that? Let's make software better.
That sounds good to me.
What are the features? Actually, I think somebody mentioned this on stream the other day. Yeah, it detects like cyclomatic complexity and probably like code style and stuff like that. So
That looks pretty legit.
yeah, it's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Looks good.
But in terms of tests, on the stream last night, we wrote tests with Supertest, Mocha, and Chai for a backend API. For front end, you might use Jest, and then you need some sort of library for mounting components and inspecting what's inside of them, like Enzyme. Terminal says, "You're killing it lately. Love to see you streaming so much. I appreciate that." Maybe I'll get used to it. Like maybe my voice will get used to it. Maybe I won't get so tired. I see like people streaming on Twitch, like they stream, yeah,
Hours.
they stream so much, like, and it doesn't seem to phase them. Like I'm pretty out of it after about 4 hours. I don't know.
I've done several where it's like 6 to 9,
Yeah.
and during the whole thing I feel okay, and then after I go to bed and wake up,
Yeah, it's like you can't talk. That's what I was feeling this morning. Like, I woke up around 7 and I was just like drinking tea to try to fix my voice. Good question from Luzigar. When is TMI.js version 2 coming out?
I don't know when it's coming out. It's definitely on GitHub in the V2 branch.
Okay,
If you're interested, written in TypeScript.
cool. All right, so I think I'm gonna attempt to get through all these messages. We'll look like one last time at this ERD, take a quick break, and then we will attempt to start coding and code against this data model.
Okay.
Cool. Trent says, writing tests first is amazing until you can't comprehend the problem. You need to bang your head against the wall for a while. Yeah. Alvin says, I should totally make a bot to help manage my life. I need it.
Like keep you on time.
Yeah, exactly. What's the difference between AlcaBot and Nightbot?
Nightbot's a much more customizable bot. AlkaBot is like it's got tons of features, tons of commands, with little customizability,
Do you have
but
like
still complex.
a web dashboard that people can log into for it?
I do not.
Okay,
It's my discretion.
I see. So you either enable or disable things for people.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess that could have been
It's,
an interesting stream, is like building an admin dashboard for it. I
I
don't
want
know.
to do it one day,
One day.
but I
Okay.
think I need to rewrite the entire thing if I'm going to do that.
Okay.
It does not support that type of idea.
Lars from YouTube says, Alka is such a legend. I imagined he would look scarier.
It used to be thinner.
It's all good. Writing test first is best practice. Of course, none of my business, but it will get you out of a lot of jams in the future. It's true. It's like, I mean, but we're stubborn developers. Like, we want to get the thing working now instead of spending time writing tests. I don't know. There are greetings. Hello, Orlando. Welcome to the stream. Does your greetings check just if the messages has hi or hello in it? Yes, Trent. That's exactly what happens. Alka is the guest, not the moderator. Time for anarchy. I think you're like modding the chat too, aren't you? You have it open.
I'm not. I'm just looking at your screen.
Oh, okay.
At
Sweet.
this point,
Sweet.
I was trying, but no,
Yeah, no worries.
I'm with you at this point.
Yeah. What if commands had scopes? This is a message from Doc. So you could define a command across multiple channels or for a particular chat room or mirror them to Discord. Then global commands would just be commands with the scope global.
So it would just be a list of commands, and then it would have a scope that could be global.
And I think I like scope is essentially like what channels have it enabled. That's where I was
That
going.
list would get big though.
Go ahead.
Versus that list would get big, or you would have. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's better to have it per channel. Like that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, because these commands will be per channel. I mean, technically, I guess what we could do is we could have a separate table that says, like, it has the global command ID and the channel ID and says whether or not it's enabled. And that would allow you to enable or disable a global command for a given channel. It's kind of like scope, I guess. I don't know. It's a good suggestion, but I don't know. Scopes could easily handle disabling global commands. The most specific scope always takes precedence. I think we're going to try to handle that by having this commands table. Like, if there's a command here, use it. Otherwise, default to the global command. And I guess, so the scenario here is, what if a user wants to disable a global command? would they essentially add that command here and set enabled to false?
We could do that behind the scenes, and then we can have a property on there that says whether or not it is a global.
Mm.
And then in that way we can uh, hide the command from the user, but have the global command visible, and then there's just a relationship between the global that they see on like the dashboard,
Mm-hmm.
and it would just be in the list
So,
as normal,
so is there anything we
but
need?
without having them to have to set it up.
Okay. I mean, is there anything that we would need to add to either of these tables?
Just whether or not it's global, rather than checking against a name.
So we could basically just have another property on the command that says like is global.
Yeah. Or it could be relationship with the ID, possibly, and it just happens to. So you have the main database ID, and you have the ID of the global command.
And so the ID right here would match the global ID. Well, um, that might. So the issue there comes when multiple channels have the same global command. They would technically have a different channel ID listed there, so I guess that would be okay.
But it would be in, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um, okay. It's getting hard for me to think. We probably need to start coding soon, after the break. Or even adding scope disabled. I don't know. I don't know. Terminal is saying, I feel like the commands table should just have the enabled boolean. No reason for joining table where a column would solve the same problem. Okay, so yeah, we do have the enabled property. They can enable or disable that command. Yeah. So Alka already built the bot. He built his own bot. We're trying to build our own bot from scratch. But yes, Alka bot is a thing.
And I've made many other.
Yeah. How long did it take Alka and his friends or team to make TMI.js? So I think
it was first someone else who made it as Twitch IRC, and then Twitch allowed for WebSockets to work, so you could use it in the browser, because otherwise you have an issue with ports in the browser with restrictions like that. So it had to be rewritten for that, which became TMI.js, and eventually. Well, I started working on TMI.js when I became TMI.js, because I was contributing a little bit to Twitch IRC, and I came over to TMI.js, and this is maybe a year or a year and a half, and then that was maybe 2 or 3 years ago or something.
Okay, so you basically took over to maintain it. I guess, did you just mention that
in the last year?
You were also part of the rewrite to allow it to work inside the browser?
A little bit. Most of the work was done by Shmooby.
Okay. They're actually
a Canadian friend of mine.
Cool. That's my longer break timer. I've got 25 messages. I think we can get through it, and then we'll take a quick break. Yeah. Is it like CJ trying to build while Alka guides him? No, I mean, I think we're gonna pair. Right now we're just like trying to come up with a mental model of how we're gonna build this thing, and then yeah, we'll code the thing. Yeah, what has happened so far? We have just come up with this data model. That's about it. Will I move the auth guide to cookies eventually? I'm gonna add that. So I have this new feature here, like questions that are kind of off topic. They're gonna go over here, and we can cover them later. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Have you got questions automatically getting added if they have a question mark in them? No, that's another feature. I need to add that. Nice. You changed the text color. What's the full technology stack we're using? So we're going to use Node and Express on the back end, and if we get to the front end, we'll use Vue.js. I don't know. Today might just be getting the back end going. I don't even know if we'll have enough time to build the front end, but we'll see. We will see. Hello, C# Fritz. Welcome to the stream.
How's it going?
You could maintain a list of global commands, then have the enable commands by channel using an array. For example, global commands. I don't know. I think we're already past that. It's like we're gonna try to do it the way that we have it, but yeah. You got it. Should also have channel 11 level commands. Yeah, that's what this table is here. So for a given channel, it can have commands that are going to be stored in this table, and then these are the commands that are initially enabled by default, but they can be disabled by overriding them for a given channel. I think that's the current way we're going to do it. 76 people watching, 21 likes on YouTube. It's fine. You don't have to click the like button if you don't want to. Hello, Noble and Savage. Welcome to the stream. Wait, Alka took part in creating TMI.js? That's why everyone calls him a legend. Makes sense now. And Alka is rocking the jersey. Yeah, there it is. Live Coders jersey. Hello, I am Fletcher. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Uravaj. Consider sentences that end in a question mark. If they match a frequency as question, answer them directly. I like it. That could actually be done by the bot that we create over here.
Yeah, we could have non-bang commands.
Yeah, I like it. What is the break reminder thing called? I want to get that. There's a command for it. If you do bang break, you'll get the link to it. This is the one for Mac. Similar ones exist for Windows and Linux. Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Mr. Fritz. Oh, he changed the background color of the text. That's funny. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know why I added the question mark. No worries. Do I block inappropriate comments? I'm not going to answer that. Hello, Stunner. Thank you for the follow. We did it. We actually got through the messages.
Right.
Oh, live coder team emotes would be pretty sweet. That's what I am Fletcher is mentioning.
I believe one is added to BTTV or FSZ.
Oh, cool.
One or the other.
Yeah, I don't.
So you could enable that for your channel if you want.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't used BTT TV yet. I mean, does it? Once you enable it, is it just like a Chrome extension that like?
Yeah, it's an extension.
And does it changes how the chat works? Or
it changes how everything works.
Oh wow. Okay.
A lot of stuff. FSZ is my preference, which does have the BTTV emotes.
Okay.
If you want.
Cool.
And the other way around.
Cool. If you're on Linux, Infi has mentioned KDE has a break timer. Stretchly is a good one for Windows. Yeah. Didn't work. Okay, so we're gonna let's do a 6-minute break. Does that sound good?
Okay.
6-minute break, and then we come back. We'll actually start writing some code. We'll get the backend set up. We'll get connected to a database. We'll start figuring out how we're gonna manage all of this in a moment. So we'll be back in 6 minutes or so, and see you soon. Hello, we are back. We'll catch up on the chat and then we'll start writing some code. Did you have a good break, Alka?
I did. I got up, ran up some stairs.
Yeah, I did a quick stretch. I took some Excedrin. I feel a headache coming on. Hopefully the Excedrin kicks in, but should be good. Oh, I just added the type sorting this morning because for one, like people that are coming in on Twitch, like there's all these messages that I need to get through, and I need to acknowledge those follows. So thanks for the follow, Savage Banana Soup, and thanks for the follow, Buyable Shinks. And then I added this tab, so people that ask questions that are a little bit off topic, we can keep them, and then maybe later when we have time, we'll come back to those. And greeting. Go ahead.
How long ago is working on the questions, it seems.
Oh, that's good.
At least at some point it took a snapshot.
You know what? It might be the render function. Render. Yeah, because if I go way down here, like these are the last messages, and that was not 2 minutes ago. That was like an hour ago. So I think it's the fact that on render, it's showing it's actually running that time ago function.
Okay.
So I need it to actually run it more often. Yeah, that does actually look accurate, and it could be because those are these components are unmounted and these are mounted. It then runs the time ago function. Hello, Sasa. Welcome to the stream, and thanks for the follow. I am Fletcher. Oh, Noble Savage is Savage Banana Soup on Twitch.
Okay,
cool.
It's a good name.
Yeah, so I think someone mentioned it, but this isn't a bot. This is really this is contacting the YouTube API to get all of its chat messages. It's using TMI to get all of the Twitch chat messages. The right-hand side is real-time incoming chats. The left-hand side are messages that I haven't acknowledged yet. And it's really just a way for me to keep track of the plethora of messages coming through. Thank you, Matthias. Yeah, so it's a nice trees and grass behind me. Yeah. How does Alka find projects to create or contribute to?
Just comes to mind for creation, and if I'm going to contribute to something, it's something a friend is working on, or it's something I'm interested in, and I'm looking for it, and I see that there's an issue with it when I'm trying to use it, or if I see a list in the issues that is like need help or help wanted or whatever it's called.
Yeah, same thing for me. It's like things I'm interested in or things that I know that I can help fix for sure. Thanks for the follow, X4 Heed. Welcome to the stream. Yes. There's also GNOME Pomodoro. For those that are not on KD, do you use Windows? Don't you?
This is Windows. Yeah.
Windows, yeah. Do you use
Ubuntu for WSL? That's it.
Okay. Cool. If Alka searches GitHub for keywords, how does he find the keywords or the theme for that matter? What? What's he asking?
I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure either. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, iLeo is another one for Windows. You can set up break timer similar to how I have it. So I basically have it as a 10-second micro break every 15 minutes, and then a 5-minute longer break every hour. But you can set that up in iLeo similarly. I guess we'll answer this question, then we'll start writing some code. For example, what, for example, would you be interested in contributing to or creating from scratch? I mean, it's like personal preference, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like you like watching Twitch and streaming on Twitch, so like TMI.js.
I make a lot of Twitch tools.
Yeah, Twitch tools and Twitch bots. So like that's like your area of interest. Yeah. I like teaching. I like building cool things, so that's kind of my area of interest.
Presentation tools.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's do it. Write some code. Hello, Abdur. Welcome to the stream. So pull open VS Code. And we modeled the data, so that's a good thing. And I think we should like get the backend set up.
Okay.
And then install TMI. Eventually, we'll get all the dependencies and stuff going. Cool. Let's create a new folder. Call it server. I'm gonna do this similar to, or I mean, you can agree or not, but I like to actually separate my front end and back end. So, yeah. So we'll have our server folder, which is going to be a Node backend. That's where TMI.js is going to be listening. That's where all the backend stuff happens. And then later on, when we build the admin dashboard, that's actually going to be a separate client folder and will be a Vue.js application with the CLI. Cool. And I think I'm sharing my terminal. Can you see that?
Yep, it's
cool.
Yes.
So let's init a package JSON and then install some of the things that we'll need. So we're gonna need Express, I guess.
Yep.
Do you have a preferred library for working with
Mongoose?
Mongoose? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you were gonna ask.
Yeah, I'm cool with Mongoose. So Express,
I haven't touched
Mongoose.
Monk yet.
What's that?
I haven't touched Monk yet.
Okay, Monk is like much closer to the actual MongoDB driver.
Yeah, I don't like that so much.
Yeah, and so what I like is like you don't have to set up your schemas or like your models. You can kind of just directly call the functions. But it'll be for this project, Mongoose will be good because we can essentially create models that very much match up with this diagram that we've created. Cool. So we need Mongoose. We'll probably add cores as middleware. Let's add helmet.
Okay.
Do you have a preferred logger, backend logger?
I do not.
Okay, so I either use Winston.
Winston's good.
What's the other one? I'm forgetting. Oh, no, I don't know. Logger. Morgan.
Morgan.
I think Morgan's a bit easier. Like, pretty easy setup. We'll use Morgan. I guess we can go ahead and add TMI.js. Anything else?
No.
Yeah, we'll add it if we need it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get it. Environment, how are we going to do environment?
We'll use .env, that's a good call. Helmet.js is not on the repository. Is it just helmet?
Is it helmet? I think it's just helmet.
I think it's just helmet, yeah. And then we'll also add .env, that's a good call. .env. Awesome. And let's set up a linter. So we're gonna add as a dev dependency ESLint. Do you use ESLint in your projects?
I do not.
What do you use? Do you use anything?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. So we'll use ESLint.
I'm just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not. So I need a tool to help me.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
Especially for both of us.
Yeah. And we could use the Airbnb style guide. We also could just answer questions about our style. Let's answer questions.
Okay.
Because then it's a nice thing that you can see our opinions about coding in JavaScript. Cool.
I think we're relatively similar.
Yeah, I know for sure that you use semicolons, right?
Yes.
So
Still semicolons.
Do ESLint -- init. That is going to ask us questions. We're gonna check syntax, find problems, enforce code style. We're using CommonJS, not using Reactor Vue in the server. For the front end, we will be using Vue. Are we using TypeScript?
No.
No? Cool. So definitely when we start coding, I want you to talk a little bit about how you do JSDoc type definitions, because that's actually pretty sweet. It's a nice middle ground where I mean, you don't get type checking, but you do get good editor IntelliSense and editor suggestions. Cool. We're running in Node. Let's answer questions about our style. Tabs or spaces?
I'm gonna leave that up to you. Tabs is my preference,
okay,
but I can work with spaces.
I guess let's go with that. I usually always do a two space tab, mainly because that's the default in the Airbnb config.
Well, if you do tabs, you can see 2 space, and I can see 4.
I like that. So let's do tabs. Single quotes or double quotes for strings?
Single.
Single. I agree. Use Unix line endings.
Unix is fine.
Yeah. Require semicolons. Yes.
Yes.
I think that's it. Cool.
Okay.
So that generated our
painless.
Yeah, pretty painless. Our config file. It is using like ESLint recommended, so that's gonna have things like shows you if a variable is unused or if you use a variable that isn't defined, that kind of thing. So yeah, so the indent style is tab. Cool. I like to enable rules like prefer arrow function and like prefer const over let, that kind of thing.
Yep. That's good. I was right const.
Actually, so Curious where we can find those rules. I mean, I guess we can just look on the ESLint website and like enable the things as we go along.
Yeah, I believe it has a big list.
Is it prefer? Yeah, prefer const. Let's see. Is that how that works? Just put this in our rules, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, there is the rules section here, and then we can add another rule right about here. And yeah, so I guess on my machine I have a tab size of 2, and I guess on yours you could have a tab size of.
I'm seeing 4.
Yeah, and so you know what? I might actually like this more because when you do a space tab, then it matters, and you have to be using the same thing with other people, right?
Yeah.
Does it need that?
I don't know. Hit space twice.
Does it look like a
It looks like a tab character.
To you.
Like it has just the little arrow. So I'm seeing a tab.
Okay, cool. I want to turn all these into single quotes. Yeah, let's see if this works. So let's create a source directory in our server.
Okay.
We're going to create just like a little index.js file. And you can start bringing our stuff. Yeah, you can start typing. So bring in all our dependencies. We need express.
Ooh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, bring in express, bring in cores, bring in Morgan.
Not getting any completion for that, but that's okay.
Like you're not getting autocomplete for installed dependencies? Well,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Create an express app. And then let's also get our .env going. So require in .env.config. And we'll create our config. What port should we listen on?
I prefer the 8,000 range.
8,000 range?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 8888.
Okay.
Cool. So that's the port we'll be listening on. And so if we do an app.listen, I guess we'll create like a port variable that's either the port environment variable or 8888 if it's not defined. So let's just do port. Process.env.port or 8888. So it'll default to that if it hasn't been defined. And then we'll just do an app.listen on that port. There's my break timer. Let's take a quick stretch.
The overhead's good.
Yeah, definitely. I find myself sitting like Indian style in my chair lately. I don't know. Kind of helps. I don't know. Cool. Yeah. Listen on the port. We can get a callback and just say we're listening.
We're doing something like this real quick.
Okay.
Server.address.port.
I like it. Can we also add in the server address? So like just like localhost, or I guess we could just put localhost, right?
If you want to.
Yeah, I like the reason I like that is in my terminal I can actually like
you can click it.
Yeah, so like http:// and then it'll throw the port on there, and I can actually like click on it. Cool. Let's see if that const rule is working. Like if I make that a var. Oh, this is the issue. Like, do you see errors in your editor?
I see the squigglies.
Okay, that's happening there, but it's not happening. And this is because is assigned but never used. Cool. But it doesn't seem to care about var. I want it to care about var. Right? Let's see. We have the prefer const rules. There's the no var rule. Is that any different? Require let or const instead of var. Maybe that's the one we want. I mean, I don't think either of us is going to type the word.
I'm never gonna write var.
I'm never going to write var either. Okay, what about prefer like arrow functions?
I only write arrow functions.
Yeah, me too.
Unless
So
I have a use for this, but I get around that if I have to.
you know what? What if we just coded without like some preference? Because you know, I think we're alike enough where it's gonna work. I don't know. We should probably. I don't know. Should be fine.
It'll be okay.
It'll be okay. So
do you have a line length preference? Because I'm annoyed by the thing going over 80.
Yeah, me too.
Like this or without that.
That works. Absolutely. Cool. But then since we're already putting that on the next line, I kind of do that sometimes.
Sure. Format. Yeah, good.
Cool. Okay.
So it sort of breaks this.
Yeah. And how many columns is this? This is now 65?
My screen, it's not even close. So.
Okay, I'm way zoomed in for the stream, but cool. I think the other thing is we just need to make sure we use our middleware, so app.use course, app.use Morgan. I think we'll use the tiny logger. Let's bring in helmet too. Sweet. And then let's start it up. So in our package JSON, we'll add a start script. Npm start, and we'll add a dev script too. So we'll need to install nodemon.
Okay. I mean, I'd do it if I could. But...
yeah, I'll give you access. So that said though, when you're coding on a bot, do you like to use nodemon? Like, can it be weird sometimes?
Well, I prefer, I save often and I switch around files before I'd want to restart. So
okay,
I'm not really a nodemon person.
I mean, I think that kind of makes sense for a bot though, because like it could restart and then like you lose all of your state.
Yeah,
so we only restart it if we need to. I think we'll do that then. Cool. And I should be able to make it read write. I don't know if everyone watching, should I trust Alka with rewrite access to my entire system? It's probably fine. It's probably fine. Let's just do an npm start.
Stay away from the rm and rf keys.
Wait, is this an infinite loop of npm starts? What is happening?
That's probably some issue with LiveShare.
Yeah, with like the terminal. Oh, sorry. Because it is an infinite loop. I literally put start is npm start. No, this should be start index.js. And then the main is source less index. Cool. So now let's try an npm start. Listening on 8080. Oh, it instantly shared it
on my computer. Yeah.
Instantly shared it too. And then
pretty neat.
Can you see it in your browser?
Yeah, it opened instantly in my browser.
Yeah. Cannot get slash.
Okay.
All right, we got ourselves an app.
I can refresh and you should see that.
Yeah, because you're getting you're through the tubes of the internet to my machine through all that stuff. Yeah. Let's just do like an app.get so we can have a request handler. And I mean, this is pretty much just going to be a JSON API. Like, there's no rendering or anything like that. Robot. My editor is not doing the right indentation.
All right. You want to set that bottom right?
Yeah, the weird thing is it's resetting for every file because I have detect indentation from content, and then that has tab using tabs. Tab size is 2. Okay. I'm gonna kill and restart the server. We should see a message TwitchBot. Cool. Let's catch up on the chat, and then we'll get back into it. Oh, whenever I zoom in on localhost, it affects my chat manager too.
Yeah.
Thanks for the follow, Luby. Thanks for the follow, Anton. Thanks for the follow, Menshmal. Welcome to the stream. And hello, Kamalesh. Welcome. Yeah, every time someone mentions from scratch, I read it as in Scratch. We are not using the Scratch programming language. That would be
Thankfully.
Yeah, that would be very interesting, like a visual drag and drop TwitchBot.
Actually, that might be cool.
Yeah.
As a plugin.
Yeah, like a custom command with like drag and drop commands or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that I think Fletcher just asked. Like, has anyone created something with Scratch before for drag and drop Twitch bots?
I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. No worries. We're gonna get through it. Morgan, volleyball. What is volleyball? I think that's an npm package for
It's
logging.
a sport.
That's true too. Uh, but there's volleyball for on npm. I think it's a logger. Yeah, a tiny HTTP logger. I think someone suggested this a while back. It has an interesting logging format. It has like the incoming and outgoing.
Nice.
Yeah, but we'll use Morgan. Thanks for the YouTube sub, Luby. Appreciate that. Morgan. Oh, Bunyan is also good. There's so many. I've never seen Bunyan. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Hey, well, that's us.
Hey.
There you go. Semicolons are not really needed for any good reason in JavaScript. I'm personally against them. I disagree.
It looks good.
Yeah, I like it feels to me like the period.
It's definitive.
Yeah, it's like the period on the end of a sentence. It like ends the line. And I also used to code in C# and they're required there, and so I kind of got the habit there. But I like them.
Right, we could be like this.
Oh wow. Well, I think we need to do that. Yeah. Can you chain that command?
Yep. Oops. Couldn't get as well.
Oh wow. So we're reducing the number of semicolons here. Is that what's happening?
But I'm gonna leave it.
I like it this way too, like each individual thing. Yeah. Cool.
That's good.
Cool. What kind of monster doesn't use semicolons? There are a lot, and I wouldn't call them monsters. There are JavaScript developers out there that don't like to use semicolons. Yeah, I've definitely used the Morgan locker before. Yeah, so there is automatic semicolon insertion in JavaScript, but I like to add them myself.
It can get tricky.
Yeah. There you go. The JavaScript minifier wants to know your location. That would be horrible. If like npm modules started like requesting those kind of permissions. Lai is asking why prefer arrow functions. I just like the cleaner syntax.
It's cleaner, and you don't have to deal with the this too much.
Yeah, you have lexical scoping.
Binding and all that.
Yeah, I prefer it. VS Code autocomplete. If you make your ESLint RC a JSON, VS Code autocomplete rules. Oh, did not know that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, if this was a JSON file, I think it'll tell you like what properties are available and stuff like that. But
oh right, yeah, it's like schema.
I don't think we'll do that though. Thanks for the suggestion. Tab size 4 for ultra wide monitors. That makes sense. How big is
tab size 8? You mean
tab size 8? How big is the screen that you're using?
24.
Okay.
16 by
9. Coding Garden. Now time to sit back and put your feet up so Alka can do all the coding. No, I think we make a good team. Like, I don't know if anybody caught it, but like I was requiring an helmet while he was using it, like simultaneously. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Yeah. So using the VS Code terminal is new for me. I typically like to use like iterm. Wait, that's not it. Well, iterm. But the cool thing about VS Code Live Share is that Alka can actually see my terminal if I use it inside of VS Code. So that's why I'm using it. So, I mean, if I close it, will the server keep running?
Yes, you can control tilde.
And that like
just hide it.
That toggles it. Sweet. Look at that. Cool. There we go. Amy says, I'm glad we just call them arrow functions. When I learned about them, we called them fat arrows, and I don't think that made them feel good.
No.
Yeah, I call them arrow functions. I used to call them fat arrows a lot, but I call them arrow functions now.
Well, when you're first looking at it,
yeah,
it sort of makes sense. And then you start using it, it's like, well, I'll just call them arrow functions.
Yeah. Hello, Conrad. Welcome to the stream. Volleyball is a bit more beautiful as an express logger because color. You know what? Let's get some color in our lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
We're going to use volleyball instead of Morgan. Well, actually, what was that other one that Robin mentioned?
Bunyan?
Is that one good? Does have color. Does it just have a middleware? I guess we'll use volleyball. Though Morgan does have a lot of different styles of logging. So right now we're using the tiny logger. There's probably one we could enable that's like similar to volleyball. I don't know. But let's just install. Yeah, you got it. So I'm going to install volleyball, and then I'll uninstall Morgan. Fail.
Oh, didn't like that.
Morgan is not defined. Wait, what? Oh, we didn't save the file.
We didn't save.
Yeah, there you go.
I have auto save and you.
That's all good.
I'll redo and didn't work.
Cannot read property headers of undefined. We got to see how volleyball is set up. It might be more than just. Oh, you don't invoke it.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
Great.
Yeah.
Saved.
All right, we're running. And if we make a request. Ooh, colors. Look at that. And what's nice about this is it does like uniquely identify each request. So you can see like the incoming request and the outgoing response with the same ID. So that's cool. All right, good suggestion. Okay, we are we're 2 hours. We're 2 hours in, and all we have is a basic Express app. Okay.
Looks good. Looks good.
Hello, Jan. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Munchmal. Hello, Vulcan. Conrad asked, "Are you also streaming Alka?"
Not currently.
No, I think he's just hosting.
Decided against it. Less stress.
Yeah.
You're the one that's streaming.
There you go. I think he is hosting my channel, but that's it. What's a sport? Oh, when you were talking about volleyball earlier, I think.
Yeah.
Hello, Krisu. Welcome. Matthias says, "I don't use semicolons. Fight me." I won't fight you. It's a personal. That's your preference. There you go.
It's a preference.
Yeah. Automatic semicolon insertion is far from perfect in JavaScript. You can run into issues, so I always use them. Yeah. So there's like that thing where if you don't have semicolons and you try to do like an iffy on the next line, it thinks that you're invoking the previous line. Or if you ever tried to do a return, but you put your code on the next line, it's actually just returning nothing because it inserts a semicolon there. Yeah. There are places it could go wrong. Have I heard of will sentence? I don't know what that is. Oh, Infi made a logger. That's cool. Oh yeah, I was rolling up my. I'm not gonna fight you. Cool. All right. So I think at this point maybe we should create some mongoose
schemas.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So maybe we have just like a directory called models.
All right.
Though I mean, I guess when we think about this, like if we're looking at this data model, it's pretty much every one of these going to have like their own express route, like a way of managing them. Like the way that a user in the dashboard would manage them would actually be making REST requests to the backend to modify them in some way. This is my break timer, by the way. Yeah. So if that's the case, I think we kind of want to get let's try to get a to-do list going. So like the we kind of want to get like Twitch login working, don't we?
Yeah.
Because a user logs in with Twitch, that now enables the bot on their channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should probably get that working. That's going to require some like OAuth type stuff, right?
Yeah. We're gonna have to balance some secrets.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get Twitch OAuth working. Cool. I mean, should we use Passport for that? Is there any special library?
There is Passport, but I'm not very familiar with Passport.
Have you used have you usually just implemented the OAuth flow kind of from scratch?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time. And I improve it every time, actually. I feel like I get better.
Get better, yeah. Have you heard of Grant before?
I know.
It seems like the new hotness. People are using this instead of Passport, but I believe this supports Twitch.
All right. As long as it's up to date, should be good.
Yeah. So
Does it say how it supports?
It doesn't. So the way it, like, and it's interesting because their documentation is pretty minimal. It just says like it supports all of these services, and then there's like a specific configuration for a given service.
Mhm.
Um,
So it might just be it's compatible with all those. You still have to supply everything, versus Passport where each one knows all the URLs.
yeah, because there's like a separate module for each of the different ones with Passport, whereas Grant there actually is just one module, and then it handles it all internally.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to you. Should we use this, or should we look at the docs and implement the OAuth flow from scratch?
I think we can do it from scratch.
All right, let's do it.
It's a little different than I think in normal OAuth, but
Okay.
everything is basically there. It's got all the stuff.
And I guess did you create this?
I did not. That is someone else. I know their name. It might be Swifty. I'm not sure. Swifty Spiffy.
Cool.
I don't think it says on the site, but
A lot of people use this though, don't they, for like simple
yeah,
chatbots?
that's super quick. It's
Yeah.
recommended. Just grab a thing.
Cool.
There's other ones as well that give you more permissions than just the chat ones.
Okay. But we're gonna do it ourselves from scratch. Let's go. I need an app.
It may or may not make sense for me to make the app. I think I have special qualities to my account.
Meaning like your app, your client ID might have more requests or something like that.
Yes, and also there's an issue. It might be fine. The old chat scope, they've updated the scope. I don't think you can use the new scope without permission.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
All right, you created it.
Okay, I'll make it.
Okay, so Alka will be creating the application. That's going to give us a client ID and secret. Then we'll need to follow the getting a token docs.
I'm gonna reuse something from like years ago.
Okay.
What are we calling this?
Oh.
Pudding Iron Bot?
Actually, I mean, can we call it pruner bot? Because like
Sure.
you prune plants in the garden. I'm gonna hide my screen for a second and then create that Twitch account if it doesn't exist. Nobody create it. No, don't create it. Wait, you're creating it? Okay, here I'm gonna let's see. For now, it could just be localhost 8888. Let's do /auth/twitch/callback. Cool. Nice. We're using port 8888? Okay. Yeah, nobody can see anybody's screen right now. Oh, and actually, they can't hear you. Okay, they can hear you now.
Sorry. Super secret. Oh, yeah. No more. Oh.
Yeah. There you go.
It's a secret in the ID. Do you prefer if I would put like Twitch client ID, Twitch client secret?
Oh, are you in the .env right now?
I am.
It's up to you. Whatever makes sense.
Okay. Let's do Twitch. Oh, I'm gonna have a different sign on different service, maybe. Sign in with Twitch. Sign in with Google. I'm done. Well, we can. I'll add the other things. You want to like redirect and everything in there as well?
In the env?
Because we may need to update it per developer versus production.
Yeah, so let's actually put the host as an environment variable, and because that way we can always have auth twitch callback in the code, but the host will vary depending on if we're deployed or not. I'm going to check my email real quick. Gotta confirm this account.
Mind if I make a section in the README for the environment variable names?
No, go for it.
I don't have to look at it later.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cool. I got a Twitch account. Okay, so we have Twitch client redirect host. I've got the port. You're updating the README. We've hid the .env. All right, is it cool to show the screen? Yes. All right, so I myself created, I mean, we don't need it right now, but I created a separate Twitch account, and that Twitch account is going to be the bot account. So the account that's listening for incoming messages, the account that sends the messages when a command happens, I created that account. Alka has created a client ID in secret for a Twitch app, and this is what we'll use to log in a user. Cool. And he is, like a good developer, updating our README to describe what all of our environment variables are. Essentially, we have a value for each one of these in our .env file. And I'll hide my screen for a second. I can create a sample .env too. That's usually what I like to do is basically...
Go
ahead, sorry.
They read me as more visual.
Yeah, and so it's like at a glance you can see what they are, but then the sample env you can just like copy paste and then update the values. Is usually what I like to do.
Okay.
So showing my screen again. This is our sample env. Basically, anybody that would clone this repo would need to update these values. Well, would need to copy this into a file called .env, update the values, and then you'd be good to go. Okay. Do you have the documentation that we should flow? So, which one of these procedures?
So we definitely want the OAuth authorization code flow.
OAuth authorization code flow. Okay.
Yes.
And I clicked it, but ultimately that's going to give us an access token, so that way we can do things on the user's behalf, right?
Right.
Okay.
And get information from them.
So first step is send the user you want to authenticate to your registered redirect URI. So I think what we can do, just to see this, we're actually, we don't necessarily need a front end because we're going to create the route, which is like auth/twitch. And then I think auth/twitch is going to redirect them to this URL.
Correct.
Right? Okay, so
that's how I like it.
Let's create a folder called like auth. File called Twitch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. In here, I guess we need a router. Oops, you took my semicolon. Yeah, you took my semicolon.
It's mine now.
It's okay.
Watch your own.
Yeah, and then we'll create a router inside of here. I got it. So const router equals express.router. And we'll do router.get. So when the path is auth/twitch. I mean, I guess technically we can register this whole router at auth/twitch.
Yeah.
I think we'll do that. So
we can do that.
So yeah, when the route is /, which is the end of auth/twitch, we have our request handler. And really, I think we can just do res.redirect.
Yes.
And this is where we're going to pass in basically this thing from the documentation. Let's actually, you have any preference, or I'm going to put this like in a base URL.
Yep.
Something like that. And then redirect URL is going to be a nice template string with like base URL and then all this good stuff. Actually, we could create one of those
URL search primes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Oh. It's hard to read with highlighted text.
Oh, sorry.
That's the code. And we'll figure out scopes.
Yeah, we'll figure out what the scope is. Cool. Yeah. So client ID is going to come from process.env.twitch client ID. Redirect URI is going to be a template literal of process.env.twitch client redirect host. Is this a good scenario where we could actually add a type to process.env? so we can get some autocomplete?
Yeah, we could do that.
Where would be a good place to do that?
We could just start right here, perhaps.
Okay, let's do
Or
it.
anywhere that you would prefer.
Yeah, go for it. So
right.
yeah, if we describe, and I guess if we look at the README, we can see all the different properties.
Oh man, who wrote this out? That's great.
So essentially what we're doing is we're adding js.comments, but what we'll say is process.env is of this specific type that has these properties. So that way when we're coding in our editor, it'll give us some nice autocomplete of what's available on process.env. I guess if you define these in a separate file, like, are they still?
I think there's a way of importing.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out. Let's see. Yes, thank you.
Yep.
And then I think if we just do this, maybe it'll be fine. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I was thinking, like, can we put the type on this thing process.env? Like, say, like, process.env is of type this.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think there is a way to just say, like, if I just write process.env and then we just say type and then we put that thing, I think that would work, but that would be kind of a weird part if you just look at it as the code.
Okay. Do we technically have access to it? So if I do process.env,
is it autocomplete?
Well, I just have like editor autocomplete.
No. Okay. I don't normally do this one.
One thing I do at work is we actually have a separate config file. So this is like a JavaScript file called config. It brings in the .env and then exports an object with the properties that you would need to use.
Yeah, we could do that.
And then
that would work.
And that would actually, then we could give that config object this type def.
Yes.
All right, let's do that. So in the source directory, we'll have a new file called config.js. This is what will bring in the .env, and so I have like a config object, module.exports config. Awesome. And really, we should be able to just spread process.env.
You could also put the .env in here.
I think that's a good plan, because that way, if for whatever reason it was forgot to be called in elsewhere.
Yeah, any like a big. You can, yeah.
Yeah. So as long
it's fine to have it multiple times.
Yeah, but if you bring in this config file, it's automatically going to read in the environment variable. Cool.
Yeah.
So now that we have that, in here we can require in the config. Cool. And then that should just be config dot. Do you get autocomplete?
I did not. Let me check it. Type def. Oh, okay. I wrote a type def. Now we need to say that this is of that type.
Oh, okay. Sweet. So
now if you mess over it, you get the stuff.
Okay, so the type def is environment configuration. We're saying what variables it has. I guess technically we could add port on here, because that is one that we have in there.
Yeah.
And then now in the other file, if I do config dot, wonderful, nice suggestions, cool. And then similarly, we can do that right here. So we have the redirect host. Are we storing the redirect host with the slash on the end or without the slash?
Without the slash. Yes, without the slash.
Okay, cool. Sure. So then we can make this auth/switch/callback. Yeah, and then we need to figure out our scopes. Right?
Yes.
Where are those listed?
On that same page, in the guide section.
Look at guide. Scope.
What do I want? Here. So there's several sections of scopes here.
Okay, I think I found
So
it.
new API, Twitch v5, and then the chat at PubSub.
Okay. So yeah, what scopes do we want?
Just for the bot account, we'll need the chat edit read. That doesn't matter for the channel broadcaster because we're not going to be reading and writing as them.
Right.
We're
And
just logging in as our pruner bot.
and so is that, I guess that's what we're doing right now is with specifically the pruner bot. We're gonna use this flow to get a token that represents the pruner bot
We can do that.
for
Yeah,
sending messages.
absolutely.
Eventually, we will use this route for users that are like logging in to add the bot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, does that mean we have scopes dependent on when and where the request was made? Like different scopes depending on who who called this endpoint?
Yes. We can do that.
Um,
If we recognize that well, it's set up before, so or you can just add scopes to the URL rather than having like an admin login for the bot user.
that makes sense. So actually, we can take this from like rec.query.
Once we're at the URL, we can just append any scopes we need. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And so that will then forward it through to.
And if it's not there, then we can put defaults.
Yeah. Okay.
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 Should we try it?
Sure.
All right. I'm gonna restart the server. It's listening. So technically, if we go to localhost 8888, well, actually, we do need to append some scopes, but basically, and I guess I'll put this in the README.
I don't think we set up the route.
Oh, we need to use it for sure. Okay.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay, so while you're using it, I'll add in the README. So this is going to be auth/Twitch, and we'll say like scope equals. And then we'll need a list of scopes. For the actual URL, are these like comma separated?
They are space and encoded spaces, so they'd be like pluses.
Okay. Cool. And let's say we are logging in as the bot itself. What scopes will we need?
At the very bottom, chat edit,
Okay.
chat read, possibly whisper read. I think we should be okay with whisper edit, but I think you need special permissions, which I think I talked to you about a little bit.
Okay. So
maybe just ignore edit for now.
And then probably channel mod. Well, no, because this is for the bot itself. It doesn't really need to mod its channel, its own channel.
Yes.
It's going to need to request mod for another channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'd be against the user.
Okay. Anything else? And I guess I mean, if you're familiar with the Twitch API, like what's the difference between new Twitch API and Twitch API v5?
So v5 is Kraken. New is Helix.
And we should be pretty much just using Helix, right?
As much as possible, we're probably going to still use Kraken though.
Okay.
There's different data that is given. There's less data, but it's way more efficient and faster on Helix.
Okay. Are there any other like any scopes we need to request from like new Twitch API, or
for the bot? No.
So these last ones are pretty much all we need.
Yeah.
Cool. And so, like the example request is basically that, and then you said they're space separated.
Yeah. Encoded, so we can just encode it in here for the.
Okay.
Thing, just so the URL works.
Yeah. Okay, and then if we look at index.js, you have registered it. Yeah, so at auth/Twitch, we're requiring that file, which is going to respond to a GET request, which will do the initial redirect. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
So if we take that URL from the README, and go there, we got redirected.
Oh, yeah.
RunerBot wants to access your account. Cool. So I'll actually, I don't want to do it with my Coding Garden account. I'm gonna open I'm gonna hide my screen for a second, but I want to open a private tab and log in with the PrunerBot account, right?
I think there's a mistake in the URL.
Okay.
Because there's a 1 in there.
Hands it off, Bill.
That's football.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, need a private
Right,
private
updated.
window. There we go. Okay. Twitch.tv. And Twitch is very aggressive about the auto playing on the main page.
Mm-hmm. Which that's why I have extensions that disable autoplay.
I forgot my password. I just created this bot. Dang it. Oh, I figured it out. I don't remember what it was, but I just typed it in and it worked.
Password manager would be important there.
Yeah, I guess so. I did verify an email, so I can always reset the password if I need to.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll show my screen. In this incognito window, I'm now logged in as PrunerBot. So if we go to the URL, and I guess where was the typo that you fixed?
It was at the end of localhost 1. It was in the environment.
In the env, okay. So
it's been updated to the application itself.
Cool. So if we now request this URL, so this is requesting our local node server, it's going to hit that route, which does the redirect back to Twitch. You are about to leave Twitch. Twitch has no control over the content or security of localhost 8888. That's fine. Cannot get auth/twitch/callback.
Okay, we got a redirect mismatch. Let me check. Not barking.
I still if you updated the env, I have to restart the server. I think that's it because I still see localhost 1 in the redirect. Okay, let's try again. So if I paste that in, there we go. So PrunerBot wants to access your account. PrunerBot, send live stream chat and room messages. View your whisper messages. Cool. And so when I click authorize, technically that's going to bring them back to auth/twitch/callback, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and create that route because we need to handle what happens when the user comes back, or when, I guess when the bot comes back. If you get started coding on that, I'll catch up on the chat because I'm sure people are trying to say hello and we're just over here coding.
Hanging out.
Hello, Cedric. Welcome to the stream. Thanks, Sharpie360 for the follow. Thanks, the Nerd Cup for the follow. Hello, Christian. Welcome to the stream. Imphy is asking, Mongoose is basically the equivalent to using SQL for me. I can use it to structure stuff better, but why would I limit myself? Yeah, I mean, it's good because you can create nested relationships and it will enforce those for you, but yeah. What if we made our own OAuth? That's hard. Like, we don't want to make our own OAuth server. We want to use existing...
Piggyback.
Yeah, piggyback, use existing services. Yeah, and Mongoose is built on top of MongoDB. It just gives you lots of extra features. Thanks for the follow, Sharkfeet. I appreciate it.
Oh, hello. That's my good friend.
Cool. Imphy says, have you heard of Grant before? Me, a king of random viewer. I don't get the reference. Hello, Similarity. Welcome to the stream. Oyan says, Grant, use Grant. We're going to do it from scratch, which should be fun to watch. I mean, it's going to take us a little bit longer potentially, but you'll actually see what involves implementing OAuth for an existing service. Yeah. Hello, RabbitWorks. I'll see you later. Thanks for dropping by. +1 for Alka, says RabbitWorks.
Thank you.
PrunerBot reminds me of the Pruners role in Discord. Yeah, that's why I named it that, because it's kind of like it can mod users automatically, maybe, if we add that feature. I don't know. EdenBot. Like the Garden of Eden? Ooh, that would have been good.
A useful bot.
Yeah. RevWorks says, nice shirt. Oh, thanks. It's pretty warm. It's like cold here, so I got like this, and I'm in my basement. I have to turn my heat off during the day so that you don't hear the air conditioner in the background, or the central air. Trent still hasn't slept. Have a good night, Trent. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. John is new to the stream, but TMI.js is a library for communicating with the Twitch IRC servers. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Cool. And it works both on the client and the server.
Absolutely.
Yep, it's a library. There's the OIDC implicit code flow, which I am Fletcher is mentioning. If you want to drag yourself through hell.
It's much more complicated.
Okay.
To do.
Ultimately, this...
But it feels better for the user, but it's...
I see.
because it's more specific, more granular.
In terms of
I've not used it myself.
in terms of permissions, or like what's more granular about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just in permissions.
Okay.
Again, I've never used it. It is a standard,
Okay.
so.
Here's my longer break timer. Justin is asking, is volleyball only good for development and debugging, or is there also a good case for in live production? I mean, all of my production servers have a logging library on them. So, yes, because, I mean, typically, even if your app's in production, if something goes wrong, you might want to go back and look at the logs and see what requests were made and when. So, it can be used in both. I am Fletcher saying, this is really helpful watching you two work on this and bounce off each other. As someone new to JavaScript, I always wonder best practices, especially with keeping code clean. I think it's like the rare case where we both are very like diligent about our code style. Because not everyone is that way. Cool. Zulfar is saying, might as well use TypeScript instead of doing these type annotations. I disagree. Because this doesn't require any extra runtime, right? This is supported by our editor, and we don't have to like run our code through a TypeScript transpiler, and we still get the suggestions in the editor. So that's why I like doing it this way, because it's like almost TypeScript, but not, and we can leave types off where we don't want them or don't need them.
Yeah, it's a little friendlier.
Yeah.
Also, you're seeing less colors than I am, which is kind of sad.
It could just be my highlighting theme.
Yeah. I haven't set that up.
Yeah. What is Kraken and Helix? Those are just code names for the Twitch API, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
just different versions.
Yeah, version. So that's like version 4 and Helix. Oh no, Crack is version 5. Helix is version 6 or the new version.
Unrelated to Kraken.
Yeah.
New. It's just called new. Yeah. It's still new. It's like a year old or something.
Yeah. It's good, says I am Fletcher. What's it going to do? It's just going to have commands. I don't know. We can probably come up with a better name for it later. I don't know. When the user comes back, print, thank you for giving us your data. Release the Kraken. The chat app is getting more fancy each day. Yes, so we can see Shark Feet. Hello, welcome to the stream. Geo, welcome to the stream. Hello. Oh wait, I just acknowledged the chat. I don't even know what it said.
It said hello.
Okay, cool. Shark Feet says Alka heart. There you go. Why is there no quacking emoji on YouTube? I don't know. Noble and Savage is reminding you to click that like button on YouTube. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but Joe is asking, how old are you?
24.
There you go. Cool. I think Robin is 24 too.
Yeah.
I guess you mentioned in the chat. Cool. Okay, so now we need, what were we working on? Our next route, which is
callback.
The callback URL. Okay. And you've got it going there. We've got the hello world. So if we look at their documentation, what does this thing need to do? Getting a token.
So we're going to take in a code, and then we're going to switch that code for a token. So you can see they have response type equals code. So we're going to get back code.
Okay, so after the user clicks accept, it's going to redirect it back to this URL, which we specified, which we're calling is /callback. Then we have the code, and then we'll make our subsequent requests. So really this, so this can grab the code from the query, which we've handled there. And then, interesting, it says there are other, I guess there are other...
Yeah, so it's going to give you back the scopes, and it can also give you back a state. And we can pass in the state.
Okay.
And the state's just whatever we want, but we can use it for validating, verifying.
Okay. And so inside of this route, we're going to need to make a post request against this URL.
Yeah.
Do you have a preferred library for post requests on the backend?
I use request.
Okay.
Request native promise specifically.
Let's do it.
Well, you can use fetch if you want.
I would actually prefer Axios over fetch.
Okay.
Main thing is like Axios, probably just like request has like, if there's not a 200 status code, it actually throws an error. Whereas fetch, you have to handle that manually.
Yeah. In request, you have to handle that manually as well, but request promise native gives you that.
Okay.
Or request promise, any of the versions.
I think we'll just use Axios.
Yeah. I've never used it myself, so I'm interested.
Yeah. It's pretty easy.
I know all of the request options and everything like that.
Yeah.
And like setting up multiple like default options and that type of thing, so everything just like cascades beautifully.
Yeah, and so
Which you my Twitch bot highlight from a week ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I saw that because you set up options like base URL, and then everywhere you use it, it can just reuse that base URL. You can do something similar with Axios. So in this file, let's bring in Axios.
Symbols.
Axios. And then I'll look at the docs, but I think it's like axios.config. Pass in some options. But let's look at the Axios stuff.
Is it a global config or does it create an instance?
You can do it either. I think this technically would be global, but we could also create an instance and give it some options.
We'll probably need
an instance.
That. Yeah. Because there's multiple APIs.
Okay, like multiple like base URLs.
Yeah.
Not JDS. Did I find it? There we go. So yeah, and you can just use it by default if you pass in the full URL. But yeah, let's get some options going. Yeah, so instance equals axios.create. Yeah, and then you can pass in the options. Let's call this request. It'll feel familiar, right? If we create an instance of it. Base URL.
Well, we can call it per API, so like Helix or Kraken or
I like that.
Authentication, whatever it's called.
Yeah, let's do that. And then the base URL here is id.twitch.tv. I mean, do we want the full one, OAuth, or we're gonna set the?
We're gonna need the ID.
So.
ID API or something.
Yeah, and then the base URL is.
I don't know.
That.
Yeah. OAuth too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we don't really need any custom headers. We just have that.
Client ID, I think we need. I think there's other headers for this one in particular. We'll figure it out.
Oh, actually, let's reuse this.
Okay.
Because I mean, we do need this variable because we're using it in this redirect, which has nothing to do with requesting. But we can now reuse that variable right here as base URL. And then, yeah, right here, this is auth base URL, and then we need to add the /authorize on the end. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So we have our Axios instance. This is the auth API. So right here, we should be able to do auth API.post. And this is interesting. So we're doing a post, but it has a bunch of query params.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's look at the docs for .post. Yeah, and so I think the string we pass in is going to be the query string here because it's going to use the base URL. So I guess this would we're going to post against /token, and then we need our query string that we're going to create. Yep. Cool. So we have client ID, client secret, code.
Because we are codes out. So this. We can keep it in order. We can change it up. Like this. And then redirect URI. We could create our redirect URI as a global, perhaps. Although in this case, we might add like a token or change our scope. So, although they can always just be appended easily.
Yeah, I mean, because so when we give them the callback URL, are you saying sometimes that will have query parameters on it?
Ours will not. Our redirect URL will always be the same.
Okay, but yeah, let's put that in.
That cannot change. There's no reason to change.
Let's put in a variable then, because then we can reuse it in both places.
We want it like that, or do we want to? Camel case it.
Let's keep the underscore because that way we can just use it directly without having to rename it.
My favorite.
Cool. So we have our redirect URI, and then we can reuse that there. We can reuse it there. Cool. So the code is coming from the callback itself. Client ID is going to be config.twitch client ID. Client secret is going to be config.twitch client secret. Cool. And I guess let's make this an async method.
Yep.
So we can say like response is awaiting that post. Are we using the Q? Why does that say it's declared, but it's never read? It's read right there. Oh, there you go. Template literal. Cool.
It's still saying that for me.
Did it update?
No.
Weird.
Claim but never used. It's assigned to value but never used.
I mean responses, but QS.
And state is as well. Do you see that for state?
Well,
I see it on state. Wait,
well, I see state.
I can start reloading.
I see state just like commented out. Oh, you got kicked out of the collaboration session though.
Right, it's joining. It all handles itself.
Oh, nice. Cool. Let me close this.
That's better.
I need to close this .env file. It's very tempting to accidentally click on. Sweet. So if we look back at the docs, we're going to be making a post request to this URL. And then we're going to get back. Do we get back the access token? Is that it?
We do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Access token, refresh token.
I thought there were like 3 steps.
Yeah.
Okay. So the response to this is actually going to be access token, refresh token. And then will we need some sort of background task to like use the refresh token to get the latest token?
At a different point, once it expires.
Okay.
We only need to store the refresh token. As long as we have our client secret, we can get a new access token.
Okay.
Sure, you probably know that.
Yeah, it's good to say. Anyways, so I'm trying to think what we do at this point. Should we create some sort of mongoose model so that way when we get the response, we'll insert these are like basically bot settings, right? So this is like our refresh token, and that way that bot info is stored on the server anytime it needs to be used. Yeah. It can be pulled out of the database. Cool. So if we look back at our server, our diagram, we potentially just need a separate model just called like, I don't know, bot settings. Let's call it bot. Yeah, why not?
Bato.
It's probably is. I mean, it really will just be like one document in this whole collection, right?
Yeah.
But this will have like refresh token, which is a string. What else does our bot need?
Let's see. I think that's good enough.
At least,
but let me get that from the token. I was thinking the ID of the account or the name of the account, which we'll need. But we can, when the bot starts up, we use the refresh token to get a new access token, and then we can get the ID from that same response, and then we can look up the username, and then we use those to sign in.
Okay. So really, we're just storing a refresh token.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's modern, very modern to do.
Right. Sweet. Minimum possible. Yeah, and that way, if we get hacked, like they don't have our access token. Sweet. So should we get a model going, or should we just see that the response works and then get a model going?
Let's see that the response works, because I have no idea what this data is. Okay. You can even write a JS doc for it or something.
Okay, cool. So we make the post. Ultimately, that should give us back a JSON object. I guess we can respond with the like response.data. So in Axios, it wraps everything in this response object, and then response.data is the actual body of the response.
It's gonna show our access to.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Like, let's delete it before we respond with it. And
okay, we should make a. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so, and I guess even the refresh token, right?
Yes. Well, they still need their client secret for that.
I mean, really,
And we could invalidate it.
we could let's instead of deleting, let's just do this. So we'll just respond with um, a few properties just to make sure that it's actually working. Like scope is response.data.scope or that expires in. Similarly with scope, scope, and then we'll see like token type.
Should be bare.
Yeah, my editor is not setting two space tab everywhere. It's like every new file I open is
double space.
Yeah. Okay, so this will attempt to go to the callback. We'll have the code. We'll make the post request, and then we'll res.json it.
Okay.
I guess we'll just wrap this in a try catch, just in case like this fails for some reason. And then we'll just res.json.
The body should be fine at that point.
Yeah. So error.message. Oh, actually, I think this is like error. I don't know.
Body. How do you get the body?
You do error.response.data. Because this would technically be, it made the post request, and then it actually still parses the body if it was an error. And then error.response.data is the object itself. Let's just call this body. Error.message or error response.data.message. I don't know. We're responding with data anyways. We'll just do error.message.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes.
So when I click authorize, that should request back to our callback URL, right?
Yeah.
Authorize.
Hello world. Did not restart the server.
We didn't restart the server. Dang it. Okay, let's restart the server. I think it's good that we're not auto restarting because we could end up with like really weird issues anyways, but okay. So we're here. Just gonna refresh the page. Oh,
there you go.
Jeez, it worked. Virtual high five. Sweet. So we actually got back the access token and the refresh token. So at this point, should we store it in the DB?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
How do you want to do that?
So I think I'm going to create a folder called models. How do you normally do it? Do you...
I create all my models inside my database file, basically. The thing that handles all the connections.
I mean, so
I just put it all at the top.
So you don't separate it out into separate files?
I do not.
Okay.
Mainly because I actually like reference them, and it's easier if they're just on the same file.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And there's circular references, and that can get weird if you're like requiring.
So let's just like set up our database connection. Here's my break timer. Let's take a quick stretch.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool, but actually, I think this is a good time to catch up on the chat because we got OAuth sort of working. I mean, we need to put it in the database and use it and all that good stuff, but we'll catch up. Yep.
Hi. Yeah.
I Speak English is saying, would there be any advantages to using GraphQL to manage the API routes? Maybe. So technically, like we could use GraphQL instead of like express RESTful endpoints. We would still need our Mongo database to store all the stuff. Yeah, I think we're gonna stick with Express. It's what both of us know fairly well.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with GQL. I've never written anything for GQL other than a client.
Okay. Alvaro says, "Bravo, we did it." Bohan says, creating a collection with a single document and a single property. Yeah, I mean, is there let's just like talking about our bot. I mean, is there a better way to do this?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Seems like it has collections, and you put a document in the collection.
Yeah. Nixotrix is asking, what does the bot do? Right now, nothing. So we're kind of building it from scratch, and we've decided that it's going to have various commands. So it's going to be very similar to like Nightbot or the Streamlabs bot, where it has things like uptime command, set title, different things like that. Oh, interesting. Boyan is mentioning instead of deleting a property, you should just set it to undefined.
Anyway,
Cool. All right, so let's set up our models and then take another 5-minute break because we've been streaming for 2 hours and 40 minutes at this point.
okay.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna delete this models. Let's just create a folder called like DB, and then inside of there we can set up our database connection with Mongoose. Do you want to get that going? I'm not super familiar with Mongoose.
I just copy pasted in from a previous file that I've written.
That's great. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, I'm writing this already. So you've already installed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me search for a file I've written.
Yeah, definitely have it.
Okay. I've written a lot of things. I realized. Not a lot use the database.
While you're looking that up, I'll answer some of the questions that came in earlier. So Dat Sparrow asked, actually a while ago, like at the beginning of the stream, how do you make sure libraries you use from npm are safe, or at least what practices do you follow to make them as safe as possible? I would always check like how popular is the library, like how many installs does it have, how many dependency, like how many packages are dependent on it. So you look at like this library volleyball, and we look at dependents. So these are libraries that are published to npm that are dependent on volleyball. It only has one for some reason, but let's look at Morgan. Yeah, this has 5,000 dependents. So this is an indicator that a lot of people trust this library and actually use it as a dependency. The other thing is looking at GitHub. You might see like how many open issues do they have versus like how many open pull requests do they have. You definitely just don't want to just install anything from npm. You should think about it before you actually do it. So that's usually what I follow is like, is the library popular? Does it have very few issues open compared to like the popularity of the library? Do you have anything that you do in terms of like making sure a package is safe or a package is something you want to use?
I look at the source. I look at how often it's used. I look at dependence if it's like a utility library or something.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the source is great too. Like, if you're looking on npm, like I would make sure that the library itself links off to GitHub.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they don't, and you have to like install them to even look at the source. But if you go off
there are websites that will show you the source.
Okay.
But
yeah, if
it's not as friendly.
Right. And if you go off to GitHub, you can see the number of stars, how many forks, all that good stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for like what to use in terms of like voice chat. Alvin is asking, what VS Code theme do you use?
I use AU dark bordered with some customization. So
AYU dark border.
Yeah, it has multiple versions. Just AU dark, AU mirage, and all these other ones. Dark bordered specifically.
Ooh, that looks really nice, actually.
Dark, of course.
Yeah.
It's the darkest one.
So mirage,
and then I've lit it up a bit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that is a little too dark. All the text on the side is like a dark gray if you don't set it to white. See that? Everything's
it's kind of hard to see compared to the background. Yeah. Motivation asked this earlier. A way to get a list of YouTube watch later videos with the YouTube API. Yes. So your watch later is actually in a playlist. And so if you get the playlist ID, you should be able to request all the videos for that given playlist. So I would look at like YouTube data API, like videos list, I think. And then, or potentially like playlist items list. Yeah, so you want playlist items list, and then you can specify the ID of the playlist you're looking for. So you would need to find the ID of your watch later playlist, and that should get you where you're going. Will I move the auth guide to cookies? Yes, eventually, not anytime soon. Your kitty cat,
very playful.
Yeah, wants some attention. What's their name?
Phoebe.
Phoebe, cool. In which languages are you good? Asked Juan a while ago. It wasn't 4 minutes ago. I stick to JavaScript. I used to write C#. I've done like Java and C and C++ and PHP in the past, but JavaScript is my main thing. What about you? Is it? I think you answered that earlier, right?
JavaScript.
Yeah, JavaScript. Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so
Go
I
ahead.
see in playlists there's a favorites playlist and a like any other playlist that you make, but not watch later. I don't think that's a playlist,
Oh, um,
unfortunately.
I feel like it might be though because like your liked videos, I think go into a playlist too.
Yeah, that's favorites. That's on
Favorites.
there.
Oh, it is.
I,
Okay.
I I executed it and looked at it.
Oh yeah. I don't know then. Maybe not. I would just search around. I think like this part of the data API is where you'd want to be, like playlist items or even maybe the search endpoint. Have you worked with the YouTube data API much?
A little bit.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Ben is saying, oh, so dependents mean which other libraries are using it as a dependency. Yep. And so that's how you can know like how popular a library is on npm, like how many other things are actually dependent on that library. Question: how to pair with CJ for JavaScript? Just hang out on the channel for a while. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen eventually. There are a lot of people that want to collab recently. Um, setting a property to undefined versus deleting it potentially has different behavior because it actually keeps the property name. Interesting.
But in terms of request response.json, undefined will hide it.
That's true. Yeah,
So for the
because when it's
effect, it would work.
yeah, because when it serializes it, anything that's undefined doesn't show up. John says only serial killers code with a bright background.
I do like the Anchorage theme for Light. It's very pretty.
Is that for VS Code?
Yeah, Anchorage.
Anchorage theme.
Like the word anchor and age.
Meow. Meow. Oh, that's pretty nice. Cool. Which tool do you use to get GitHub in dark mode? I use a browser extension called Stylus. Do you use Stylus?
Yes.
Yeah. So
A lot. I write my own themes for it as well.
I have your theme for which one was it? You recommended it to me. Yeah, for the Express docs. So, excuse me. But yeah, when I look at Express, it's dark because of Alka. So I have this extension called Stylus, and if you go to userstyles.org, people they're like community contributed styles for a bunch of different websites. If you search for Express.js, you'll probably see the one that Alka made.
Or not. Maybe Express docs. Something. Okay.
Well, it's
Maybe
some
put it. Okay, I don't know.
it's
It's on
somewhere.
there.
But
Pop in the show first.
you can search across like all different kinds of websites. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Express Docs Dark. And essentially the styles have different scopes. So like this style says it should only apply when the URL is expressed or when the URL begins with expressjs.com. And so similarly, I have a style for GitHub called GitHub Dark. And man, their search is horrible.
It's not great. It works better in Stylus than
on the website. Okay.
You just hit find styles and you get what you need.
But I have the GitHub Dark theme installed, and that's how like when I look at GitHub, it's dark. Cool. All right. Wait. I missed a chat. How to make my message move to the question tab? Oh, I have to move it manually with the question button. Kitty cat.
Cat, yeah, that belongs in the questions tab as
well. Mitch 1000, hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, oh, Dark Reader is pretty cool. I've used that in the past, but like that, it's not specific per site. It'll just turn any website dark, which is cool. Hello, Linus Dev. It's been a while. I mean, hello. I've been streaming pretty often, but it's probably only been like a week since you're last in the chat. But welcome. Jan says they have a fixed Twitch redesign 2019 dark mode theme installed. Cool. Linus. By the way, Alka, I tried to do the CJ saying Alka supercut, but the automatic subtitles always wrote your name different. Somebody mentioned yesterday the subtitles said I was saying like Olga or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What icon library do you use in VS Code, Alka?
The one that comes with AU. No, I'm using the default.
Default like VS Code icons?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then for the like folder directory stuff, I have something. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But I see JS and the npm logo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Similar to yours.
Hello, FreeFow. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so Alka has set up the database. So we're bringing in Mongoose. I think at this point we should bring in config as well.
Okay.
And then we can pull that Mongo user, Mongo pass, MongoDB name into our... Did you already put those in our .env?
I did not.
Okay.
I was hanging out with you.
It's all good. So in here we'll bring in the config, and then I guess if you could add Mongo user, Mongo pass, MongoDB name to the type definition of config.
Okay.
And I guess technically this should be...
Whatever you
we can do Mongo host right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're adding a bunch of configuration variables. So when we connect to our database, that is configured. So like locally, we're just running to, we can just use like the local MongoDB I have installed on my machine. But when we deploy, that'll be like some remote Mongo database. So. Yeah, so when the database is connected, we log connected, disconnected. Cool. Here.
can use dashes or not. I prefer not.
Okay.
Because they're just there from the markdown, and then I forgot.
Like JSDoc automatically like
It removed that. Yeah.
So it's like after the space, that's the description. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you can write markdown here as well.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I can write a list of things, or I can use ticks and bold and whatever.
Cool. But what's cool is now I can do config dot, and we do, or we should see. Oh no, I'm not getting autocomplete.
Oh, now that's saved.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Awesome. So, can you add some values to the .env? Actually,
sure.
For user and pass, I think you can just leave those as empty, because like with my local Mongo database, there is no username and password. I think it's just like automatic login. And if they're undefined here, maybe that will work.
Oh.
I don't know either.
I personally have each project I make a username and a random password. The username matches whatever the name of the project is, and then they through admin I set them up as the owner of that database.
Okay.
Within that instance of Mongo.
Do you want to do some Mongo foo here? I can give. I can give you write access to the
sure.
terminal. Let's do it. I mean, do you normally use like the Mongo CLI?
I do.
To create the user. Let's do it. So, my terminal is now read write. So you should be able to just type Mongo and
let's see.
Yeah, you're in. So, I guess create a user.
Okay. Let's see, auth admin, and then it's db.create user, and there's some options that I usually look up because it's interesting. There's some completion, but there's not like tab completion for an object that you're writing.
Yeah.
So we're at Mongo create user. Let's see. So we'll just need a user. User. What are we gonna call it? Prunebot.
Yeah.
Proob. Then a pooord, so we can create another instance here.
Is that the name of the password in like the Mongo admin store?
Yes, that is how it is written.
PWD. Okay.
Or at least in the config options, whatever. I'm gonna use crypto bytes. Let's say like 16. We'll just say to hex.
Are you typing in the terminal?
I am in a separate terminal. Oh, come on. You can just use like that. It's a short little thing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were typing and it wasn't like popping up. Cool.
Wasn't finished. Need more.
Requires a roles array.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Start over. For some reason, it's acting up on my screen.
Okay.
Once again, use admin, get db, create user.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'll make a longer password. I thought it would come up.
Yeah, and
32.
It's totally fine if people see this because this is our local Mongo anyways. We're going to use a totally different password whenever we deploy this thing.
Man, pacing is so weird. Is there tons of spaces here? I don't know if I'm seeing, if what I'm seeing is what you're seeing. No, that is okay.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, that's weird. You see that?
Yeah, so like when you're
My cursor's not.
you're backspacing. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Maybe
share.
more room.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that terminal read only, but then I'm gonna use Zoom to actually just like share my desktop. All right, this could mess up Alka's image for a second, so bear with us. Oh wait, I already am sharing, aren't I? I just need to grant you access.
Okay.
Alka. I like to control this computer.
Okay.
I think I need to. Wait. Oh,
nice.
you are controlling it. Try it.
Okay.
Are you?
I think so. Do you see the mouse moving?
No.
I see a different mouse. I now have a black mouse.
Okay. I just need to make sure that I'm gonna hide my screen for a second. I need to make sure that Zoom has accessibility features. Cool. And then remote control. Okay, try to control it now. There we go. Sweet. And then I'll give you my other terminal.
Sounds good.
Let's do that, and then we'll. Hey, stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Sorry.
No worries. I'm just kidding. We'll do that, and there you should have a full Mongo shell. So if you give me just a second. Just. Okay, there we go. There you go. So now you should be able to edit without any weird things happening.
Okay. Imagine that. Password. How do you make a new tab? I don't know. Can I copy paste them? Hold on. No, I don't think I can paste them.
There you go.
Okay.
Can you use crypto without requiring? Whoa!
Yes, because I'm instancing. Or I'm just in the REPL. It calls everything for you.
I didn't know that. That's cool. So like all the core modules are like available?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how pasting works in this. I was expecting Racklet to do paste.
Yeah, because I'm on a Mac, so it's like Command V versus Control V, but yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have a command. What else do I need? We need roles.
Roles, yeah.
Just an array, and then create this. And I have to look it up. I don't want alt tab yours. Sorry.
No worries.
Roles. So I need role, and then we need a name of the database. Let's see. Role. I believe it is read write. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the database is going to be probably make it something different.
Yeah.
Than the username for clarity, but that'll be fine.
Should be fine. It worked.
That's everything we needed.
Cool. And so now let's make sure we just grab this because that's going to go in our .env as the password. Close that.
Awkward.
So I'm going to put that there. And then you can update the .env, and I'll catch up on the chat. Hello, Katoli. Welcome back. Linus is partial to material icons. I think I just use the standard VS Code icons.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
Oh, interesting. Carlos is saying watch later is a private playlist for like the YouTube data API. So it could be
you might need a scope or something.
Yeah, so like you're logged in as the user and then request that given playlist. Angry Face is showing Alka Face.
Oh yeah. How's it going, Angry? Sorry, I'm clicking on your screen.
No, it's fine.
So I would normally do a thing anyways. Cool.
So you're updating the .env. Did you get the password?
I did.
Cool.
I just need a host. So is that going to be local?
Right now localhost.
Okay. Does that require HTTP or I'm not sure. I forgot.
No, I think so. Like that's coming in the connection string. So
it uses Monk. Okay, have you already written it?
Yeah, so I put a Mongo
Okay.
host there, so that should just be like localhost or 127.0.0.1.
I think localhost is good enough, and it can assume the port,
Cool.
maybe.
Yeah,
So mine doesn't.
yeah, it will assume the port.
Okay.
So that's
And then we're
good.
good.
And so should this file export the database connection?
On mine, I do, so we
Okay.
could.
Cool. And then we can use that somewhere. So,
Okay.
but I guess technically we want to create like the model. Let's just create it in a separate file if that's fine. So like
Sure.
we'll call it like bot.js. This file can require in the DB. So I'll do that. Looks const DB. Require yeah, itself, like the index file. And then for like a mongoose model, do we need to import the mongoose library itself?
Yes.
Okay.
To get the types and schema
Okay.
object
Yeah.
classes.
Cool. So we're bringing in mongoose. I do prefer to put external requires at the top. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Guess we just need schema and then types for certain things.
Okay. I'll bring up the mongoose docs really quick because definitely don't have that memorized. So we are creating a model. So we would say new schema, and then you just pass in an object with the schema. That's easy enough. So,
Too much.
new schema, and then we're passing in an object. And I think we decided that our bot has
Refresh token.
and that's it. Refresh token, and then you give it an object and you say like type is
Yeah, you could do it like that. Or you could just say, wait, if you want to have other things other than the type.
I guess we want to put like required true probably.
Okay.
Types.string.
Or you can just put the word string, or you can put the class that's part of your JavaScript. Yeah.
Required true. Two space tab. So is that it?
Yeah.
So what did we bring in types for?
We might need it for certain things, but if not in bot, then other places. So
Yeah.
we can leave it out.
Okay, so we might not need it here. And then we need to say mongoose.model, and then we pass in the schema.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make it available to us. Oops.
And I guess actually this should be bot schema. Bot model is going to be bot schema dot. No,
You pass it in mongoose.
Yeah, so we say mongoose dot model. I guess we could destructure that, but we'll pass in. So we want this thing to be called bot, and we'll pass in the bot schema, like so.
I guess it's not instant space, so I guess we could. I think I've never done it myself. I just did it this way. To do it, but
yeah, I think that'll work. And then we can just say down here model.
All right.
Cool. And then we'll export the created model.
Yeah, we could export it, or we could use the model command elsewhere to just get that. So I guess up to you if you want to use require.
We can let's just export it just in case we do decide to require it anywhere. But otherwise, we can also just reference it using model, right?
Yes.
Okay. So model.exports equals the bot model. And I guess we don't need the DB in here, do we?
No.
Yeah, because it's all using like that singleton mongoose instance to register the models.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
All right. So we do need to I mean, should we require these models in like in this file so that way they get registered automatically?
Yes. We'll need to get it somewhere.
Okay. I guess let's just do it here. So like any other model files, we'll just require them in, but essentially that just makes sure they run so that they register themselves.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now that we have that in our route, we can attempt to insert the bot or update the bot whenever the OAuth flow is complete, right? So
yes.
Right about here. So instead of responding, we basically need to do like response.data.refresh token.
Yep.
I guess do you want to do that? So we can either require in the bot model or we can
Let's require the model.
Okay.
Because then we don't have to look at mongoose or anything.
Okay.
We just see the bot model
Cool.
for now. Let's see. Where do we want to put that? After?
Yeah, I'll put it there.
Got it.
Bot model. Go up one into the DB folder and grab the bot.
Okay.
And then
and yeah. So we'll do bot model dot, and we get syntax here. Do we want to find it? Find one. I have to delete this. Do you just want? I think that would work, right?
I think that will work, yeah. Because that way it's always going to find the one that's in the database. I mean, maybe we give it. Is there like a find or create one?
Maybe. Let's see. Find. There's update, and that might have upsert. Not give me any options. Oh, that's the that's that, and then we have this one.
And that's like upsert true.
This is our update object data stuff, so we nothing, I guess, for the first one.
Okay.
And then this one, yes, now it has upsert, among other things.
Okay. And so what's this first parameter?
So that's our search.
Okay.
That's what we're searching for.
I think what we should do is like just give it a name, so we can like find by name, and there's only ever one with that name.
Okay. Just so it's clear.
Yeah, because otherwise, I mean, I don't know if you could run into a race condition where it does it twice, and now there's like two bots in the database for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Or we could make that in our model. What is it called? There's only one of them.
Oh, like unique index. So like name is type string, and can you do like unique true?
Yes, I believe so.
And that automatically adds the index. Cool.
Okay. Now, what'd you call it?
Just name, but we can give it whatever name we want, I guess. This is my break timer if you want to take a quick stretch. I think once we get the bot into the database, we'll take a break. I can walk around, stretch my legs.
Not sure how you want to break this down.
I like to put them on separate lines, so yeah, we can do that. It's a little bit easier to read. Cool. So name is prunebot. It's gonna find one, and that way it'll create it if it doesn't exist.
Should work.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the docs for find one and update queries.
Sure. Find one model to find one update.
So I'm wondering if the yeah, so we're gonna update the name to be prunebot where it is prunebot, so that's totally fine. Do we need to use like the $set command? Like
it automatically does that for us.
That's fantastic. And then it'll create it if it doesn't exist.
Believe so.
Okay, so we have our bot from the DB, and then right after we get back the response from logging in, we definitely want to do like bot dot. Does it give us back like a model instance? So we can say like.
Gives us a document.
So it's just JSON, like just an object, nothing, no like special.
I think it has the save stuff. Well, let's see what intelligence it gives. Yeah, it has all the stuff on it. So save and original schema and event listeners and all that.
Okay, so actually, I guess if we did after the response, if we said bot dot
Access token,
refresh token
or refresh token,
equals response dot data dot refresh token, and then bot dot save.
Yep, and that should be awaited as well.
And then we can really just respond with I don't know, just like a bot emoji, like good to go, good to go. Your refresh token's now in the DB, all that good stuff.
Do we want to await this?
Yes, definitely. And let's throw this into the try catch too, just in case there's like a DB issue. And really, we now need some checking, because if the database throws an error, then error.response is not going to be a thing. So like error.response, then error.response data, otherwise error. All right, should we try it?
Okay.
Let's try it. Let's try it. I think the README has an example redirect. Let's try it. Cool. So that was our callback from earlier. Here we go. Oh, the server's not running. Here, npm start. Okay, so we have our bot listening.
Error.
Something happened. Mongoose, find one and update and find one and delete without the use, find, and modify option set to false are deprecated.
Okay, let's look at DB index. I do have all these things set correctly.
Use, find, and modify.
Yeah. Find one and delete. That one I do. That,
you know what?
That has been changed.
Maybe we should require this bot after all of these options should have been set.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't it? Like, cause I thought it was.
I do it in my other file, and that's been fine for
a
couple of years.
Cause
up to you.
Because this is like registering the model there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Oh wait, sorry. Am I looking wrong? No, no.
Yeah, so we can put that back there.
I do this mongoose. That's good enough.
Yeah, sadly, we're not getting like any log here. So something went wrong and we didn't catch it. So let's see where we could have gone wrong. So it's going to try to do the find one and update. Going to try to do the post. It's going to try to do bot.save. I feel like this catch should catch anything, right? I mean, let's just try doing error.message.
Oops, sorry. Sorry. Again.
No worries.
Not sure if I had the focus right on certain things.
It's okay.
There we go. Look at the deprecation rings.
We're not getting any log though, and we're not getting any response. What's going wrong? So guess let's just add some logs. So like, are we actually getting the bot back from the database?
Well, it's failing at that point, right?
Is it though?
Yeah, that's what, or it's a deprecation warning.
Yeah, because I don't like
that's fine.
I don't see the actual error. Yeah, so let's make sure we get the bot. Let's make sure response .data.scope is actually a thing. Cool. Kill it. Restart it.
Weird.
Okay, so it doesn't even get to the bot log. So this line is failing.
Okay.
Let's look at the mongoose docs. Though, I mean, technically that should be thrown into our catch. If it fails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to look at the Mongo?
Yeah. Let me hide
I'll try to find it.
I'll hide my screen for a second just in case there like is a refresh token. But yeah, let's pull up the Mongo shell. You have control.
Okay. So let's see. Use FriendBot. Do we set that up? I don't know. db.fun. Or not? We haven't set a collection or anything.
That would be the Bot,
The model, right?
the
Yeah,
bot, the bot collection, right? Or like db dot. Let me see in the code really quick. So we called it capital bot. I mean, really, that should be like that, right? I don't know, but I guess try db dot bot
all right.
bot
db
db dot bot dot fine.
dot. Oh, that's not working. db dot what? There we go. A way to get a list of collections. db dot list commands
I don't know.
collections. Get collection names.
None.
We have no collection.
So it hasn't created any collection. All right.
Okay, so it hasn't done nothing.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of need to take a break. So I think we might take a break. We can come back to debug this. Let's see if there's anything interesting in the chat before we go.
Awesome people.
What's that dashboard for chat? This is something that I created. If you look at some of my past live streams, I created the chat manager to integrate Twitch and YouTube chat all in one. Yeah. Where do I host my Mongo database? I mean, I think MongoDB Atlas is the go-to. What do you use, Alka?
I just run Mongo in systemd.
Like on like an EC2 instance or
On my DigitalOcean droplet.
DigitalOcean. Okay, cool. There you go. How to set the proper license on GitHub? What does MIT mean? As what Polion is asking. I'll add that to questions. We can answer that when we come back. It's pretty easy though. You just add like a license file to your repo. Hello, Alexander. Welcome. FreeFile is saying, why Mongo exactly? We're used to it?
Yes.
That's pretty much. Like...
I don't know SQL. I don't understand anything else. Really.
Okay. Robin posted this pretty cool image. Watching on a projector. Nice. It's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sweet.
People keep reminding my Coding Garden stickers website is broken. But I'll let you know, if you go to coding.garden/support, there is a link to stickers right there. I need to fix the /stickers route though. You're right. The break timer has come out. It's going to come up in 2 minutes. And we're going to take a break. Yes, thanks, Katoli. Thanks for the YouTube sub, Felipe. I appreciate it. Jan is saying use unified topology true. I think you set all of these options, didn't you?
Not all of those, but the ones that it's crying about, yes.
Yeah, use
it's weird that it's still talking about it.
Yeah. Though actually, did we ever see like the we never even saw like a database connected log.
I guess not. maybe it's not localhost or the port or something. I don't know.
I mean, we're not seeing like a DB on error, are we?
No. Oh, I don't see everything of yours.
Okay. Maybe...
Well, I guess I can scroll up, but it's just a tiny little one now.
Yeah, maybe that's how we'll debug it, just to make sure like the DB is actually connecting, which is what we need. Yeah. Use find and modify to false. Do we need that?
Yeah, you can do that in the connect options.
Okay.
It says that in the docs.
ATD says beep boop. CJ and Alka are awesome. Thank you, ATD.
Well, beep boop to you.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take a look at that. A little trick for logging. Instead of doing console.log.foo, you can use console.log.foo in an object. That helps. The one issue with like logging in Node is if it gets like nested properties, it won't show those automatically. So
we could set it so that it won't nest too hard.
Okay.
Or ruin our nesting.
Does this warning prevent code executing below? I don't think it does. I think ultimately we're just like not even connected to the database, so we're not even seeing that log. Because we see...
Excuse me.
We see the callback. Is it bad that people can see our code?
Nope, code's fine.
Code's fine, okay.
They still need the secret.
That's true, okay. And yeah, it is logging that it can't connect, but I don't know. I need to take a break. Gotta rest my brain. Autoback is saying, could you use a cron job in your upcoming projects? Thank you in advance. That is something to look into. I'll add that to the to-do list. Don't you have a bunch of relations where SQL would be easier? I don't know if it'd be easier. It might make more sense because it would enforce relationships at the database level, whereas with Mongoose, we can enforce relations like at the Mongo driver level. But I don't know. It's really up to preference. Okay, we've been streaming for 3 hours already, Alka. How does the
No
time?
time to me.
Yeah, how does the time fly? I don't know. But yeah, let's take like a 10-minute break. I'm gonna
Okay.
stretch, drink some water, and then when we come back, we'll fix this database issue.
Okay.
Up to this point, we haven't even used TMI. We're just getting
No.
getting the stuff set up. It's how these things always go, though. Cool. Any last words before we take a break?
Nope.
Cool. All right. We'll see you all very, very soon. Stay tuned. Hello, friends. We're back. And we have to figure out this database issue. I think what we decided is we'll figure out the database issue, make sure that we're actually connecting to the DB, and then we'll probably take a break to eat some lunch, and then maybe come back later. So Nicholas has a question. Besides moderating in Twitch, wait, does Alka stream too? You do stream. Do you ever stream yourself?
Yes.
Self-playing games, or is it mainly coding?
In the past I did, not so much lately.
Okay.
I want to. If there's like a beta release of a game,
Mm.
like BF5 came out, I was streaming that, and there was some crazy things happening with bugs and whatnot.
Mm.
So that was really fun.
Yeah. I think we mentioned we might play Rocket League at some point. Like I need to get that set up, but that would be fun.
I haven't played in so long.
Hello, Katole, welcome back. Freefile was asking Go or Rust. Have you done either?
I've played with Go. I don't really like it. Rust, from what Brooks was doing, actually looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to try that.
Okay. Hello, Ed. Welcome to the stream. When will coding start again? Me, an intellectual. Wait, what? What's happening?
Not sure.
I don't know what this is saying.
I think Afuf is viewers.
502
views?
viewers? There are not 502
Not
viewers.
Views.
Views. Okay. Cool. Oh, that old video. I see. I didn't realize what was happening. But yes, there's a video on my channel where, and this was before I started live streaming, when I was recording some tutorials, I played the guitar at the beginning, and I made the "It's time for CJ to write some code" song. Yes. Nice find, Infi. All right, let's debug this database issue.
All right. So I did try the script on another thing, and I did not get that deprecation warning.
Okay.
So maybe something isn't even happening. I
mean, I at least want to see DB.
Are we requiring the DB anywhere?
Nope.
All right, that's our issue. All right.
Yeah, that's a good call. Good thing we take a break. But yeah, we're not, because I mean, if you look in the Twitch route, we're just requiring in the model file.
The bot.
Yeah, we're not requiring in the DBSO.
And the model's not even being loaded anymore.
Yeah, so we should probably require the DB in index, right? Like the main file?
Yeah, but we need to do it after the .env.
Yes, so because that way those are loaded.
You should put the .env first. I think that's what they recommend in there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Where is it? I don't get the IntelliSense for that.
Yeah, you can actually just do like /db. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we save that and restart our server. Hey, database connected.
Okay.
We are seeing a deprecation warning for to use the new server discover and monitoring engine past the option use unified topology true.
Okay, so that's stuff I have not experienced yet. I will throw that in though.
Okay, so in our config here, we need use unified topology true. Okay. Warning, no SASL prep library specified. Passwords will not be sanitized.
How do we deal with that warning?
Should we care about that warning?
I mean, best to minimize the warnings that we get.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just Google. Let me search this and see what it means. The top one is a issue solved by installing the missing SASL prep library. Is it just like a node module? Yeah, it's just a node module.
String prep profile for user names and passwords. RFC 4013.
I see, it's an optional dependency. So I think if we literally just install it as a dependency, then it'll find it and use it. SASL prep. Oh, that's weird. in PMI start? Nice.
Okay.
Database connected, all that good stuff. Okay, so if we go back to our Twitch route that was attempting to do all the login and stuff like that, that finds the bot in the database. We're gonna log it. I guess we'll keep logging it just to make sure that it's there.
Once.
Yeah, and it shouldn't create more than one. we're going to get back the scope from the response, save it, and then just say bot was saved, and then we can check the DB. So let's just restart one more time to be sure, and let's give it a try.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
That one. Cannot set property refresh token of null.
Okay, so bot came back null for some reason.
Yeah, so find one. Maybe this upsert isn't working correctly.
Is according passing options. Returns a found document if any callback. The query executes immediately if callback is passed. Else the query object is returned.
We did await it.
I usually prefer not to use the upsert and just check if it's there, and then if it's not, then create the thing.
So like two.
Like I feel better about that.
Two separate queries, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Find one here.
Yeah, and then I guess we don't need that, right? We just need find one where the name is prunebot.
And that can be one line if you wish.
Yeah.
And then if not bot, then we bot model. Okay. I mean, we could insert our refresh token here.
I think at this point we don't have it. We only have it after. So,
yeah.
So we could do that. Yeah, we could basically do the querying after we make the request. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. Sorry. But yeah, there we go. So yeah. Make the request out to Twitch, which will give us back that refresh token. And then when, then we should be able to set it. So
and we need this to be a let. Bot equals this. And does that need to be awaited?
Yeah, because it is asynchronous.
Yeah, I promise.
And so now when we set bot.refresh token, that'll either overwrite the existing one or add it to the one that just got created.
Or how about this? Don't have to do this. We can make our own. In this case, we would then set it and call save.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, we just instantly create it. Cool.
Manipulation here. There we go.
Yeah. Like it. So, and really, I guess we don't really even need to store it in a variable because it's literally just like, await the creation, which will put it in the DB. And then after all that, we respond with the bot emoji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah. Good to go. All right. Right here.
Restart the server.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Okay. Localhost auth Twitch. Go. Hey.
Hey.
All right. So I'll hide my screen and then let's look in the database to see if we can actually see it. I think I'll give it a try. So db.bot.find.
Bot.
Yeah.
Should be lowercase b now.
Oh yeah, because we updated it, huh? Oh man.
Well, okay, it didn't return an empty array. So something. Oh no, no, no. It didn't return null. It didn't return anything. Weird.
What is our database called? Prunebot?
Prunebot.
Is there a dash?
Nope. I tried using dashes in the past, but it is a JavaScript REPL, basically.
Let me pull up a visual viewer.
Okay, that sounds good.
I think I have Mongo. Or do I have Robo? Yeah, I have Robo 3T. Just connect to my local. Prunebot collection. Oh, bots. Does Mongoose automatically pluralize it?
I think yes.
Oh, that's good to know. Because I think when we created, we just called it bot. I see. So Mongoose called it the collection bots. Sweet.
There it is.
It worked. It's in the DB.
Right.
Cool. Just close that. Close that. Show my screen. Cool. So it works. One thing to point out is even though we called the model bot inside the Mongo database, Mongoose has actually called that collection bots. So when you're referencing it, it's db.bots to be able to query it. Cool. So essentially what happens is when this endpoint is hit, it updates the bot or creates the bot in our database with that given refresh token. And so now, whenever the bot is listening for messages on a channel or something like that, it's going to use its refresh token to get an access token so that it can listen for messages. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Cool. Let's catch up on the chat.
And then it's time for lunch.
Lunchtime. Infi says, thanks for showing Grant for OAuth to be at the beginning of the stream. Finally implemented Discord OAuth for the first time. That's good to hear. Yeah, Grant seems pretty cool. I found out about it because Feathers.js is actually using Grant under the hood. So just found out we can do this. So this is default ID index. Oh no. Hey, he tried to rickroll. Come on. I technically got rickrolled, but you all couldn't hear it. So if you're not familiar, my chat manager lets people embed actual HTML. Let's look at this. So he did an anchor tag where the link is to the video, but the link actually shows this MongoDB. Is your mic still on, Alka?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure it didn't lose you.
It's just muted.
It's all good.
With the knob.
Orlando's again asking about your VS Code theme. What was it called again?
AU dark bordered.
This one. So
just IU or whatever.
Yeah. So if you search the Visual Studio extensions for AYU, he's using the dark version here. Cool. Thanks for the YouTube sub, Amir. I appreciate it. No, thank you. Robin is saying if you have a lot of traffic, doing this find and create might fail because new data can exist in between checks. Alternatively, you can do something like create and handle respond error. It's a good point. I think one thing we'll point out is, like, technically this bot endpoint should really only ever happen like once, right? So essentially the bot, you log in with the bot and authorize it only once. Does that make sense, Alka? Like basically the endpoint that we just created?
Yes.
Yeah. So for things like the actual user login endpoint, that'll be a little bit different, but this one is specifically for the bot that's going to be sending all the messages. Yeah. Cool. Have I seen VLang? It's a huge scam. Guy promised so much and got a boatload of money from Patreon. Have you heard of VLang? I don't know what that is.
No idea.
No idea. Yeah, you guys got me. Okay, Rickroll count for today is 1. I'll say that. Yeah, a race condition could definitely occur where, like, if two bots are trying, if this endpoint was used and two bots try to log in at the exact same time, you technically could potentially insert 2. Cool. All right. We're gonna eat lunch. Should we end the stream and like start a new one afterwards? What do you think?
I think that's ideal, at least specifically on Twitch.
Yeah, okay. So I think I'll do that. Thanks for the YouTube sub, Rocket1337. So we're gonna end the stream. In, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, there'll be a new stream, and we'll keep on working. Does that sound good, Alka?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna play the credits and all that good stuff, so that way we can see all the wonderful people that followed while this was happening. And those of you that are watching this as a video on demand, you can just go to the next video. But for those of you that are live, you're gonna have to wait. Any last words before we go to lunch?
Eat up.
Eat up. There we go. Alrighty, everyone. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, or about an hour from now, here's this. And stick around for the credits to see your follows and donations.